Alrighty. We're
Um,
back to Seven Deadly Sins then.
well, yeah, it's only been I don't know, many
Like
months.
like 2 months.
I think it's been like 3 months because there was like basically a whole month where we just didn't do anything. Like,
That's true. We
not.
did we did take a we did need a little time.
Yes. Um, man, it was really weird, like getting back into it after so long, and
It was, yeah.
now having to like talk about it and like think about things that happened before, and like I basically forgot most of the stuff that I like had been thinking about the series like up to this point, like different criticisms I would have had and stuff like that. I
Right.
basically just forgot all of that. I'm just back at square one.
I'm not so different. We're
Yeah,
not so different, you and I.
I see. Maybe we
Yeah.
should consider not doing this kind of thing in the future. I suppose we'll see.
Yeah, maybe find like a more natural breaks than where we stopped last.
Yes, that would be neat. Anyways, so we are talking about Seven Deadly Sins.
That's right. We're with the official place where the Corand Arc, whatever you call it,
Yeah, whatever it is.
it we stopped like halfway through. There was some dissension about like where the arc started and ended, but I guess we're just gonna do the second half, so whatever.
Yeah,
So that's
basically.
that's chapter 225 to 233 of the Corand Arc, and then from there we'll be also to be covering the Prelude to the New Holy War arc, which is chapters 234 to 256. It's 31 chapters.
Yeah.
Should be a quick episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully.
yeah,
Well, maybe I don't know, hopefully, but yeah, it will probably.
that's right.
Yes.
Definitely,
I
100%.
agree. Yep.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna go. I'm just gonna go like 5 hours screaming at the top of my lungs just so this is our longest episode yet.
Oh yeah, in the anime it's also episodes 10 through 20 and part of 21 of season 3.
That's
Just
right.
just so you know. Just putting that out there, you know. It's,
Let it be known.
yeah, just for the anime people.
Speaking
Who
of the anime,
yes.
um, you were watching that. And you made the discovery of some filler that is put
Oh
in
yeah.
right before where we are.
Yeah, well,
You
it is where the part where we are, the first episode of the
like
anime of this section, which is episode 10.
yeah, it's like we left off just after Meliodas told everybody about the what's going on between him and Elizabeth, the whole curse thing. That was the last thing we covered last time, and this was like part of that in the anime.
Oh
Some
right,
additional
I
info.
remember because last time it also did the same thing as this, where the manga went over like a little bit in at fucking whatever. The last
Whatever.
the next episode covers a little bit of the manga that we covered in this section, and we have the same thing happened last time,
Yeah.
which
The
was confusing for me.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we got all mixed up about where arcs begin and end, I guess.
It's yes, it's weird because like the anime splits it up differently from how like the official arcs
Mm.
go, and like fans have different ideas of where the arcs start and
Yeah,
end, and
that's why we're
yes,
just gonna, for the rest of the series, the last 100 or so chapters, we're just going by what the wiki says where the arcs start and end.
yeah,
So yeah, the as I was saying, the we left off last episode talking about how the stuff Meliodas was telling the other sins about. He was finally opening up about the curses on him and Elizabeth, and I've known like 106 different Elizabeths. The one right here is the 107th. But in the anime, uh, after is talk about the first non-goddess Elizabeth, the barbarian Elizabeth, best palette swap. There was Seven
yes,
Deadly Sins fighting game. I'd want all of these as Elizabeth palette swaps.
true.
DLC costumes. After that one dies, we don't like cut ahead to the most recent one or like cut back to present day. We actually get a little montage first of a bunch of different Elizabeth variants throughout the years. There was one that I knew as a little kid and hung out with the little kid version, and her memories awoke one day, as is usually happens, and then she died in a fire.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that is very nice.
As
We
you
love
do.
this.
We love it.
Yeah.
Then comes one that it doesn't really look like she has any defining characteristics besides just being Elizabeth. You know what? This is a really weird thing to be reminded of when reading this. Have you ever seen the movie Gone with the Wind?
No, I actually
It,
haven't.
it's you don't have to. I watched it in a class, in a history class in college, but just like seeing Meliodas in like what looks like a linen suit and like a horse-drawn carriage, and she's dressed in like the big sun hat. It reminded me of that
Uh,
kind of like classic South look.
yeah, I know what you mean.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
like
Elizabeth, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
this Elizabeth never regained her goddess memory. She just kind of
Yeah,
lived as a human and died of old age right there. But yeah,
you know,
that I didn't expect.
since
I
this is
thought
canon, I was wondering, like, do future Elizabeths, like, do they have her memories? Like,
they seem to, because I remember I reread the earlier parts of the Corand Arc that we covered last time in preparation for this, and when Elizabeth is regaining her memories, she starts acting like the previous one, Liz. I remember she was freaking out and yelling at Deanne, like, "We have to go tell Meliodas Cain was just bit by a werebear," and
oh,
like
right,
then
and
she,
Liz also never got her memories back, right?
yeah, that's another one.
Okay, so that makes sense then. Yeah, so they just get all the even if like an incarnation of Elizabeth doesn't get their memories back, the future incarnations
Still
still
die.
remember being them,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
yeah. I, w- I wonder if Elizabeth like remembers any other, like. Do you think she misses like people she knew in past lives? I guess she would, but
Well, yeah,
I
definitely.
haven't se- I haven't seen her mention it.
Well, wasn't there like a part where she was basically like all depressed in her room for a little while or something?
I think so. I think she was just like passed out, like it took a
Oh
mental
yeah.
toll or something. But
Either
yeah,
way, that's kind of like weird that you would get over that so quickly.
you know,
Yeah.
suck it up. um, I, I, I think that's the last one we see before we cut to Liz. And
Uh,
section of the
yeah.
anime I'm very glad to have seen because it answers one of the critiques I had so long ago. Back in the Ishtar arc or Ishtar arc, I don't know which one it
Something.
is, something like
I think
that,
it's
uh,
Istar.
something like that. Back in that arc, we had that whole section of Meliodas trying to like kill his emotions about the fall of Danafor, whatever,
Yeah.
and the death of Liz, and he couldn't. And I remember saying, like, I hope we get a little bit more information about how Danafor fell, how
Oh yeah.
Fraudrin killed Liz, why the place looked so effed up and in chaos in the flashbacks. And I was like, are they ever gonna expand on this? How did this happen?
Honestly, I didn't expect it to happen, but
Me neither.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Same here. I am a little disappointed that the manga didn't do it, but I guess I don't know. Maybe the mangaka had his reasons, and whatever the case, it's now here in the anime in like author approved canon filler.
Well,
And
he like wrote it, so it's not like
yes,
someone else wrote it and he approved it. He wrote that
oh,
section.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So apparently, how it went was the court mages of Danafal who worship demons, I think is what they said. They like revived Fraudrin, and that's how, like, because
Yeah.
he wasn't sealed up. I,
Well, he
I
was sealed, but he wasn't sealed, right? Like
it,
he
he
wasn't
like
sealed
lost
within.
his, yeah, he wasn't in the coffin of eternal
Yeah,
damnation,
but he was
the
still
coffin
sealed
of bad
somehow
vibes.
in some
Yeah,
way.
so yeah, so they revived him, they brought him back. So he got together all of the coffin pieces, as you do when you want to revive all your friends.
Yeah, I
Being a
do
good
that every
bro,
day.
he had a bro about it, and he
Yeah.
does that, and he decides, you know what? I think I'll sacrifice everybody in the kingdom, as a
Oh,
bro
yeah,
does.
yes. I mean, well, yeah, of course.
When have you not? Not a weekend goes by where anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, sometimes you want to, don't you?
yeah. Come on.
Yeah, there are
Um,
those
yeah,
days.
yeah. If you were sealed in an extra dimensional prison, I'd sacrifice a village or two.
Um, I'd sacrifice you, honestly.
Wow. Truth comes out.
I mean,
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, on
So,
live television, which we are
that's true.
currently on.
That's true. We've taken over the Newsday broadcast to
Yes.
show our part 7 of our Seven Deadly Sins
And
podcast
no other
talk.
part.
Yep. Uh, so yeah, all shit goes down in Danafar. Winged beasts from the demon world rain out of the sky and start killing people, plucking them up, and dr- bringing their blood to the coffin. And Fraudrin tries to unseal it, but
Another
doesn't work.
thing that you do
Yeah, yeah,
normally.
yeah.
Yep.
Some I just do, and yeah, that makes Fraudrin realize, like, oh, only goddess blood can do it.
Where are you gonna find that?
Well, it's a good thing he finds Liz, because not many people left in Danafall anymore.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
just like,
clearly.
you seem all right, and you kind of look like her. You're probably Elizabeth.
There's a
I can see it.
non-zero chance that you're a goddess.
Yeah, and yeah, good enough. So yeah, that's how Fraudrin got into the position we saw him in the manga flashback from way back when. He kills Liz, and
I couldn't
Meliodas gets.
believe it when he killed Liz. I didn't see it
I,
coming.
I I mean, spoilers. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Meliodas sees it. He freaks out. He beats the shit out of Fraudrin, comforts the dying Liz, and then he
Explodes everything.
yep, things
Yep.
go boom.
He
And
he he does the explosion. Not really.
does yes.
But he
And
does kill
mhm.
everyone or whatever. I don't know. Destroy. What
He
what
like
exactly
it.
did he do?
It's his. Okay, so it's portrayed a little differently here, because
Oh yeah.
the way I had taken it from the past showings of
Yes.
this, like back in the fighting festival where we first see him like looking out over the big chasm of what used to be Danafall when he's fighting Kane, and then we saw it in a bit more detail during East Star. It looked like his powers just like went crazy, big boom, and then Danafall is literally just a crater.
Yeah, and then like here
But
it's
here,
weird.
here
Like
it's like it starts a fire or something. It like crumbles the ground up, and Danafall is reduced to like a pit, but not like a giant featureless crater like in the manga.
and
And
also like it takes a couple days, right? Cuz like
yeah, he
it
says like he watched Danafall burn for like 3 days and nights, feeling helpless, even though he probably could have done
something
something.
he could have
Yeah,
saved some
because
people. Like
yeah,
he did,
because
but he saved one person.
yeah, he finds Elizabeth's mother like near where he was hanging out, holding the baby Elizabeth in her arms, and like the mom's dying. Like, she survived 3 days of this. Surely others
She
have.
survived 3 days of this while giving birth because
Uh,
Elizabeth would have had to been born after Liz died.
That's that's true. I want a story about this lady. She gave birth in what was essentially the apocalypse for her.
With no help.
Yeah,
And then Elizabeth was just fine.
yeah, just baby Elizabeth just hanging out, like and Melisas is just like, no, not again, not again. And yeah, the mom dies, and Melidas leaves, and I guess that's where this it that's where the flashback ends. The
Yeah.
anime only flashback.
It was cool.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, I'm pretty sure the flashback was in the manga. It was just there were sections of it that were anime only, right?
It's in the manga. It's like we saw Barbarian Elizabeth die, and then the rest is just like text from Meliodas in the present. We didn't see anything from Danafor
Yeah.
in the manga.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, covered that, and now it's off to Poland
Poland.
because they got there's a dimensional rift around Camelot that they need to take care of and to get in, and it's the base of the place of origin is Poland, the ruins. It's a ruined town that all the people there died mysteriously long ago, and I forget if we ever mentioned this before, but in the volumes, the collected volumes, at the start of each of them, there's one page before the
Before the story
table of
actually starts.
contents.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like, I guess it's supposed to lead into what comes next. Like sometimes there's really not much space in the story for it. Like later on, when Zeldris takes that big attack from Ludociel, that's the end of a volume, and the next volume opens. That one additional page is just like a slow zoom in of him being fine after taking the attack. So not much there. But here it's them going off to Coland, and the little opening page is Helbram hanging out on top of the boar's hat and like reminiscing to himself, setting up the reveal later that he is responsible.
Yes.
It's neat. I
It is neat.
I enjoy that.
I feel like wasn't that also included in the anime? Like that little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Because when I read it, I was like, huh, I feel like I saw this.
But yeah, so they make it there. They arrive. They're still up in their armor. I still like how it looks, but in the anime it looks very plain, their armor. So I see what you were saying when you were talking about like
it's not even about it being plain. It's just really weird to look at. Like especially like
you're not used to it.
like King and Deanne
Oh yeah,
and stuff. It's just weird.
yeah. You're not
They
you're
like
not
lose
used
all
to
their
it.
they lose all their like personality and character and just become
That's
knights.
that's fair. I like Merlin's the best.
Merlin's is cool.
I like Merlin's. I like Escanor's. But yeah, they arrive at Colon. They're about to cross a bridge, but then who do they see there? Shock horrid Zeldris, and Meliodas. Meliodas goes on the attack, jumps in there, attacks Zeldris. Whoa, so cool. He's the protagonist. So cool.
Zeldris is gonna be dead in 2 minutes.
But no, it's an illusion of some kind.
Yes. It was actually me, Dio.
It was his after image.
He was there the whole time. He
Yeah.
was just watching.
No, he was there like an hour ago, but he left so fast that his after image lasted for an entire hour.
Oh my god. Imagine that.
I would I would believe it if that happened in an anime. Just like an after image.
Yeah.
They went so fast that the after image lasted for a whole freaking hour.
After images themselves, like are
It's a stupid idea.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just like it lasting an hour. I mean, like, there's times in like Dragon Ball where it lasts like more than like a single moment, and it's just like,
Yeah, or like
what? How?
or like it or like it moves, like when Goku's
Yeah,
fighting Cell and he has the after image like keeps going and it goes through Cell. It's like
I
what the fuck?
like I would imagine basically what would be happening there is Goku is like very quickly switching places, like between the two locations, and that's how it's creating the after image that's moving. But why?
It's yeah, this is a very stupid trope to have caught on, but it's very funny to think about.
Yes, it is.
It's like in that like uh the I forget like the post credit scene in that one Bleach episode where Yakuya and that Espada guy are doing like the flash step appear behind you thing and they
Yeah.
just keep doing it.
Yeah, and then there's the meme where they like go out like they like escape Waco Mundo by keep doing it. They like go in like a straight line all the way back.
Love it. So yeah, that was an illusion of Zeldris. It wasn't real. I don't really. I guess he was just doing it just to be like, "Ha ha, you suck."
Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't Zeldris, it was what's her fucking name?
it was
Yeah, it was
Molascula.
Melascula. She
She was
does
doing
weird
it.
stuff.
Oh, we forgot something. I forgot it because it wasn't. They moved it in the anime, and I just watched the anime episodes. Between the Meliodas flashback section and getting to Coland, they do a stop off at Pelio's village.
Oh
We
yeah, that
see
happened in
that
a
happened
different
in
spot.
episode 1 of
Yeah.
season 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was strange.
things are a bit different here. It cuts right to like the part where Pelio's dad is trying to sacrifice the travelers to keep them safe from demons. Pelio's like, "No, you can't do that. That's shitty." And yeah, he
It's
just
all
kind of
good.
gets in over his head. He's over it. This kid, he's over the whole demon things.
Yeah, basically.
But they're saved, particularly by Gother, who in the anime he's just himself, and Pelio doesn't recognize him, even though they did meet in the interlude season between 1 and 2. But in the manga, he's doing it while looking like his original guise of Armando.
Yeah.
And Pelio and all the kids from back then, they recognize him. And we have this nice little, it's a nice little, it's a nice little resolution
Yeah.
after the fact between him and these kids, where Pelio's like, "You weren't lying. You really are one of the real 7 deadly sins."
Yeah,
It's
especially
cute.
now that like Gother's gotten his like
His heart
character
back.
arc. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is cool.
He can like be openly affectionate for real this time. It's nice. It's nice to remember that. Now all we need is Mead back. I still haven't given up. Demon King Mead.
I don't remember who Mead is, honestly.
He was that kid from episode 2 where it's like, I have a problem. My whole village hates me. I'm an
Oh,
orphan. I'm like Naruto like that. And Melody is like, yeah, sure, kid. You're Naruto. Go away.
yeah, with like the sword and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Mead.
Demon King Mead. I'm calling it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, colon. So they all go in. They're all hanging out, going through the place. They see all the skeletons of all the long dead residents, and that's when Melascula shows up. Not really shows up, but like
She
she makes her
traps.
move. She
Yeah.
she traps Meliodas in her gloom cocoon. Ooh,
I was really confused about this because like I feel like at one point it was stated that it was like of a similar strength to fucking the Cocoon of Darkness or whatever it was that sealed the Ten Commandments, and then Meliodas just like broke out. I was just like, what? I don't even know.
I,
Maybe
was
I'm
it said?
just maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I
I
just
don't
thought that
remember that.
I
I think
don't
you're
know.
going crazy. Going crazy.
The details were a little hazy in the anime.
That's true. The anime seems to like not skip things, but like it trims certain stuff, so certain
Yes.
things kind of don't come across as clearly, especially in season 3, because the animation wasn't as bad as I had expected
Yeah,
after hearing so much about it, but it is noticeably, I guess, maybe cheaper. Like if two
yeah.
characters are talking, then a lot of the times it'll be like a super wide shot where they don't have to animate mouth flaps and stuff. Like a whole conversation will be happening while we're just looking at the outside of the boar's hat.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah. Though I haven't seen Meliodas versus Escanor yet, so maybe that'll change my mind. That's been memed to high heaven.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Speaking of the animation style, this is also where we get a better look at what Melascula looks like now, how her jaw is all fucked up after Bond messed with it.
As it
And
should be, 'cause
yeah,
she is
and
Snake Lady.
yes, that is true. And I just wanted to say that the anime really makes her look like a doofus with it. It looks goofy. The manga makes it look super cool. I really like how it looks because
Yeah,
like
with like the dark,
her,
the shading.
yeah, it's all shaded at like the sides of her mouth and the lower section of her jaw. It looks actually like intimidating and cool, whereas she just kind of looks like a dope in the anime.
Yeah, 'cause you could clearly see what's going on.
Yeah, that it pairs well with her floaty lolly look. uh,
Yeah.
and she has a newish spell too, in keeping with her dead reviving abilities. She is able to animate the skeletons all around Conrad or Coland or whatever the hell.
Conrad. Where
Isn't
you
it called that? Someplace. I feel like I've heard it be called the Conrad arc.
I've never heard that.
Maybe I just have Berserk on my mind because there is a character called Conrad,
Yeah,
and it's in a very weird set of names: Void, Slan, Ubik, Femto, Conrad.
damn.
It's like Death Puncher, Blood Squeezer. I am Dale.
My name's Dan. Nice to meet you.
My name's Dan. I'm the new demon.
He's like he's there on an he's an intern.
Yeah, I'm your intern demon. Does anybody want evil coffee? uh, where? Oh yeah, the skeletons. They're all here. They're fight, but they're they're skeletons. They're kind of weak. The synths are just kind of clearing them out pretty quickly, but they're getting stronger as Meliodas is trying to break out, and Melascula reveals to Meliodas that all the hatred he's exuding inside of her cocoon of blackness is what's powering the skeletons.
Because what else would power skeletons but fucking rage and stuff?
These skeletons run on bad vibes, yeah.
Bad
But
vibes, true.
that is pretty cool, like having them fueled by Meliodas's hatred being just siphoned away. That's pretty
Yeah, it's
neat.
it's kind of
That's
like
pretty sick.
it's like a it's almost like Meliodas' like rage versus the seven deadly sins.
Mm.
Like he's they
And
have to contend with that.
yeah, and they do pretty well, but even though they keep getting stronger, and eventually they notice that the last skeleton up is getting this huge power boost, and they realize like, oh, killing these skeletons are fueled by hatred, but that didn't go away when we broke them. They're just going into another host, and now that there's only one host, all of these grudges are powering up the skeleton into a huge self thing.
Yeah,
And I don't really get what happens next. They say like don't don't count out the captain or something. Don't underestimate the captain, and then that skeleton just kind of explodes. I don't really get
Isn't
it.
this
Was
like the moment that Meliodas escaped, or no?
No,
That was later.
that's later.
Wait, then.
Maybe it's like his hate was too much for one vessel that wasn't him. I guess maybe
I don't
I don't really.
remember.
It's kind of the anime because I just watched it today is taken over my brain in that section. So maybe it was just unclear compared to the manga.
Well, I know in the anime it gets like
It
ginormous,
gets
and in the manga it doesn't. It gets like a little bit bigger, but that's it.
ah
But I am
but
seeing
yeah
that it just like crumbles away. I don't know why.
yeah. Then but then
Just because Meliodas puts like too much power into it, so it can't handle the power that. Okay, that's why.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not out of the woods yet because now that all these like leftover grudges from Coland are just floating in the air, Merlin realizes that like you got to steal your mind, keep aware of yourself, or they'll take over you. They'll go into you, and like everybody looks fine for a hot second, but shock horror, Deanne was taken over.
Fucking
Whoa!
Deanne.
God damn it, Deanne.
Just go and just die, honestly. Please.
Go back to being dying Deanne.
Do your thing and die.
Yeah. No,
Useless.
Diane's takeover is pretty sick. I love how horror
Oh
themed
yeah.
this arc is.
She just starts bleeding from the eyes, which
She goes
okay.
crazy.
She
She's been living in a society too long, and she starts going crazy.
basically.
She read one too many Joker memes on Leona's Facebook.
She was trying to like be
All
Sasuke.
Yeah, all of the Colan grudges are like we are the sons of the Joker memes that you scrolled past.
Why didn't you laugh? If
Yeah.
only you would have laughed, you would have made it out of this.
Why didn't you like and comment?
I didn't see an LOL in the comments.
I love
You
it.
have no idea the pain that I feel from this. The
Go
void in
through
my heart.
my heart pit. Gother goes into Deanne's mind and he just hears like a really, really loud crawl again, my skin.
Yes.
I can dig it.
True.
But yeah, I love this. I love this takeover. I like the general horror theme that this arc has by now with Melascula, the skeletons, and this like demonic possession of Deanne's. And it also it makes sense why it's her and like not anybody else, and not just they don't just go, oh, it was the mentally weakest of us, so it was her. It's that like after King tries to be like, no, guys, we can save her through the power of love. Deanne, I know you can do it. And then he just gets swatted away. The power of love is not going to work here, King. You take a breather.
I
But yeah,
just like I don't get it. What like
what do you mean? Like what he was trying to
I thought it
accomplish?
was like she's just like mentally the weakest.
No, it's well, at the moment she was, yeah, but like not in general. It's that after Gother decides to like invade her mind, as he is one to do, he finds her feeling all depressed and guilty and crying over like she feels responsible for causing Elizabeth to start regaining her memories,
Oh
leading
right.
to you know now she's on a timetable of death for now.
Yes, that makes
So
sense.
like that guilt was kind of
She's in a
wearing at her
rut.
mind. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
Yeah, so yeah, chalk this up to another cool character deep dive through Gotho's powers. Yeah.
Yet more nuance lost to us in the anime.
Hmm. No, that was in the anime.
Yet more me being stupid.
You little stinky.
I am
But yeah,
stinky, thank you.
back outside her head. She's still freaking out. Escanor gives her a little love tap, but she takes it like a champ. And it looks like, and eventually she just starts kind of smashing her own head with the hammer. Very cool. And it looks like
Well,
she's just gonna KYS, but then shock horror. Who's this? Who's there? Speaking up, it's Helbram. He's doing something. He reveals that it was me that killed everyone in Coland because yeah, it was his past killings. Remember, he
yeah,
hated humans and killed a
he
bunch.
killed people. That
So he's back.
is
He's
kind of
back in
random,
the.
but okay.
He's back. No, it was.
No, no, I
Uh,
know there was like that little introductory thing, but like,
he was killing humans for a while.
I don't know.
I like it. We know he was doing this. We know that it took King a while to stop him because he was off being amnesiac with Deanne. So it makes sense that it's a nice little connecting thread, connecting that old plot point to this new place. Could have just had it. Could have
Perhaps.
could have just had him be like, "Oh, they died of a famine. Oh, they died of raiders. They died of demons." But instead, they take it and like they connect it
No, no,
back to
I
no thing.
understand like the arc being set up as it was, like it being like it being the people that Helbram killed makes sense. I
Right.
just think it's random that this like they would bring this Helbram stuff back after so long,
Well, yeah,
like in the first place.
that's my next thing. It's a nice way of tying things together, and it gives some focus to a character that's just been like on the back burner for a while, just kind of King's talking point, a friend for King to talk to. Um, but in the end, like he sacrifices himself essentially. Possessed Deanne crushes the helmet, and Helbram, you know, goes off to wherever he's going to be going at
Yeah,
whichever afterlife he's heading to.
again.
Again, spent a while killing people. It doesn't look good. Oh boy! But considering this, the sacrifice was meant to get rid of all the grudges possessing Deanne, but it it does,
Didn't.
but not.
Not
Yeah,
all of
it's
them.
yeah, not all of them. Like so, considering that it doesn't get rid of all of them, it's ultimately Elaine and Elizabeth that finish things off. It kind of just feels like the author doing some housekeeping and getting rid of a character that he has no more plans for, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it didn't
I mean,
really
what?
make a difference.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It didn't really make a difference. If Elizabeth had shown up a minute earlier, we could have avoided this. And it's not really, yeah. I mean, it's fair. What was Helbram gonna do for the rest of the series? Not much. He's a ghost. He was just there to talk to King essentially, and maybe this is important for King's development, having to no longer rely on Helbram's advice. But and but it's if this was supposed to hit hard, make it a bit more impactful. Have it, yeah, it does get rid of all the grudges possessing Deanne. If that had happened, I would be a bit more lenient on this scene. But as of now, it just feels like a quick aside that's quickly moved past. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird to me.
That's fair.
In any case, um, frickin' uh Elizabeth shows up with what what's her name? Uh, it's been a while.
Elaine.
Elaine. Uh, yeah.
Uh,
Uh, you
her.
know,
Oh,
only the most important character,
my favorite
Elaine.
character, Elaine. Yes. Yeah, they show up to finish what Helbram's failed to finish. Good job, buddy.
Good. You
And
did it. You did it.
yeah, and you can tell me what happens next. Not that I don't remember, because it's been a little while since I read the manga, and this is where I had to stop watching the anime earlier. But you tell me what happens next, friendo.
Uh, well, it seems like Elaine get gets well. Wait, no, cause this is happening at the same time as
Meliodas.
Meliodas, right?
It's no,
Oh, wait,
Meliodas
oh,
didn't
okay.
break free yet, did
Yes,
it?
so what's happening here is basically Elizabeth just shows up and just uses what is the technique called
Whole
again? It's like it's not purge.
rest in peace.
Sure. She does that and it gets rid of all the evil spirits that are plaguing Deanne.
That's right.
Also, apparently, Elizabeth knows Marlin, and
Oh yeah. Um,
yeah,
that that was a thing. She recognized Merlin when she was first getting her memories back.
yeah. And Merlin calls her Big Sis, or
Yeah,
yeah,
sissy.
uh, that yeah, that one works too.
That's what the manga says. Sissy.
Oh, I guess that's the official translation. I'm looking at manga decks.
Ah. Uh, that's when Melascula shows up, right? She grabs Bon.
That is yes, that happens next.
Yeah,
Melascula shows up next and grabs Spawn.
she turns into her big snakeus form, right?
And yeah, and Bond just,
He's
can't do anything.
immortal.
He's
He's
just
immortal,
there.
but he's not. Yeah, Bon. Of all of the characters in this arc, I feel like the arc does a really good job of utilizing the cast it has, but Bon really does feel kind of just there. He doesn't really
Man,
accomplish much.
I I have some problems with Bond. He's
What are your
like
problems?
so it's really weird. I feel like we're just like kind of going in circles. Let me just open something up real quick because like there's been so many times in the series where Bond has just been basically useless. Like he just can't do anything, and then he has this like character arc kind of him like being like, "Man, why am I so powerless? I'm immortal, but I can't do anything." And then randomly he's able to defeat an enemy that nobody else could defeat, and then he goes back to being powerless again and doing the same thing. It
I
just keeps
yeah,
happening over and over again.
I see what you're
It
saying.
happens
Yeah,
with other characters too, but with Bond especially, it's just so weird.
yeah, he's gone through this. Like he went through this when at the end of the Great Fight Festival, when he was unable to save Meliodas. Uh, he had something. It's something like this. I think around the time of when he was leaving to like try and find a way to bring Elaine back. When the around the time the commandments
Yeah.
were released, where he was like kind of like brooding and angsty about like I was unable to save Elaine. Oh, I was unable to save Captain. Oh, Elaine's gonna die for a second time, and I'm unable to do anything. Oh, everybody was fighting against Melascula and the evil Meliodas, and I couldn't do anything. I see what you're saying. It feels like we're getting the same point of this character over and over again. Like, oh, he's fallen behind. He's a little bit emotionally clogged up, I
Yeah.
guess.
And
He
it's
feels
weird because like
worthless.
sometimes he's able to just um
Catch up, right?
catch temporarily at least, like where like he fucking snapped Melascula's neck out of nowhere. Um I can't
He
think of
was
anything
able
else.
to. he was able to keep up with Galen with his Hunter Fest, but that quickly went away.
Yeah, like leading up to that part, like he was basically useless. He couldn't do anything. And then at that part, he was like actually fighting on equal terms with Galen, and then all of a sudden Melascula shows up and he has to like run and shit and get his ass saved by Escanor. And it's like,
Yeah. It feels
yeah.
like we're going in circles, but I feel like that's gonna change soon because I know about not, I was spoiled on it. Well, I spoiled myself on some stuff that happens later after what happens during the chapters we're covering.
Okay.
So I think it'll work out in the end. But yeah, I do
At
see
this
what you're
point, it feels
saying.
really weird.
We're in kind of a rut with Bond, and I feel like the author maybe felt that way too, since he essentially puts Bond he puts him away for a little while during this course of chapters.
Yeah, well, he's doing stuff, but we don't see what he's doing, I
E-
guess, until
exa-
later.
exactly, he's just off on his own, doing his own thing for the time being.
Yes.
But yeah, Bond is being chased by big Snakus Melascula. He gets hit by some like super melty acid stuff that melts him in a really gross way. But he's not gonna die. He's immortal. But kind of sucks to be
Yeah,
covered in
he's
covered
basically
in gu-
just
co-
stuck there because
covered
he's
in gookus.
yeah.
And Melascula is about to eat him. But then Elaine, also feeling like, oh, I can't do anything. This is just this is just the this couple is just the
Well, yeah,
self-deprecating pair.
but
I
like
can't do
she does
anything.
get stronger by growing her wings, which makes sense
That's right.
because that's like
How
that's
fairies do.
also that's what happens with fairies. Like
Hmm.
King basically does the same thing all the time, where their
Mm.
power is kind of based on their emotional state, and they like evolve over time
Yep.
by
And
by
that's
overcoming character flaws and stuff. I don't know.
yep. And that's what happens with Elaine. She wants to do something and she does the thing, and for her trouble, she gets to grow out her wings. And they're unlike
Before King.
King's yeah, unlike King's little dinky little wings that he's got right now, she just immediately gets the full size wings.
She also physically matures a little bit, I think,
I was
but
gonna point that out. Yeah, she has
not. But
like
yeah,
it yeah, this is a good segue into something we were discussing while we were covering JoJo when you talked about Seven Deadly Sins. Like here, Elaine goes through like some subtle maturity changes in her design with her alongside her wings, longer hair, her body in general like grew a little bit. I
a
think she's
little
like
bit.
up to Bond's like chest now in height if they were standing side by side, maybe like stomach, I guess, or maybe chest height. She
Crotch,
looks
more like
she looks
crotch.
no, I think
I don't know.
she's
I'm just looking at this panel right now of like her flying and like holding him up, and she's like the size of his
well,
lower body.
uh, whatever. Either way, she's like a little bigger. She's got the longer hair. She looks a little not chunkier, but like a little thicker. She doesn't look like a stick, I don't think.
She's less childish than she was.
Yeah. She looks a little less like a kid, but in this what's wrong with this image is not something that can be like mitigated by subtlety. Like it looks like Bond is hooking up with a
Oh well,
child.
yeah, she's still a lolly,
Yeah, she's still a
basically.
lolly, and no amount of like, oh, I've subtly made her look older is gonna make it like,
I don't think that
yeah,
was the intention.
I know it's just like a general like he wasn't trying to. He obviously didn't see a problem with it before, so he's not
Yeah.
trying to fix the problem here. But like, it doesn't address the it'd be like trying to tear down a brick wall by poking it with a screwdriver. You're gonna need a
Yeah.
hammer. You
Hmm.
got a screwdriver. It's not gonna work.
I think it's more just like foreshadowing for what's for King,
Yeah,
for how King
that's
is gonna
that.
look,
That's true too. This is like
which I'm sure
Elaine's a minor.
everybody.
Elaine's a minor character. This is more for like setting our expectations for King now that he's kind of got started on that part of his growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a cool scene though. I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy Elaine whenever she's able to do something.
I found it weird that like she's able to like grow even though she is like kind of dead sort of halfway, which is weird.
I, she's dying, but she's not. She's not
Yeah,
dead
I
yet.
don't know. It's just a weird gray area.
Yeah, fairy. The
Fairy, yeah. Fairy.
if that
Magic.
helps, yeah, fairy. It's a special little gal. Good
Exactly.
for her. Good for her. And now I think is when Meliodas busts out.
Yes, he breaks his ass out of the cocoon.
But
Or
not as him's normal self though.
yeah, he's Big Chungus.
That's true. Oh god. The most horrible anime transformation.
Yeah.
Chungus mode. No,
Chungus mode.
it's actually called Annihilation mode according to the manga official translation that I read. And I don't really I don't really get why they needed to name it. It feels just like, oh,
It's
Meliodas has finally regressed because
yeah.
he doesn't go back to normal after this, at least as far as we've read. He's still like evil and shit. This is just, but like calling it annihilation mode, I don't really get it. I feel like putting in that terminology is something the author just kind of pulled out of his butt to justify like a fight between Escanor and Meliodas. Like, oh, he's gone berserk. We need to pacify him instead of just like letting the arc play out. And it's like, oh, Meliodas has finally regressed fully. You know what I'm saying?
Uh yeah, I mean, it's basically just him like in his like using his true powers. So I don't know why it's not like a form or like a mode. It's just
Him.
it's just
It's
him.
just how he was
I
supposed to
mean,
be.
mentally he's a little bit fucked just because he's like in a weird transitionary stage.
Right.
But that doesn't have anything to do with like it
Yeah.
being a separate mode.
Yeah. I feel more confident in this because things were moving into place for these two to fight before we even got an inkling that something was wrong with Meliodas. Like
Yeah.
he busts
Immediately
out
like
and
Escanor starts
immediately
approaching him and
yeah,
yeah,
as soon as he busts out, Escanor goes over as if like he needs
he's
to do
needed.
something over there.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh yeah, the captain's busted out. They're just immediately
Quick, Escanor, go see what's up with him.
yeah, they're just like immediately attuned to something's wrong with Meliodas because the author's trying to get to this fight that fans are gonna like as quick as possible.
Yeah, basically. And honestly, it it was kind of boring, in my
Right?
opinion.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
It could have
It
been better.
it's cool on paper, and I'm sure the anime like. Well, actually, I'm not sure if the anime made it flashier because, as we've said before, the quality of production, while not horrible, is kind of, yeah.
Well, you wouldn't know this, Mike, but colors are actually cooler than no colors.
I
So
don't
it
believe you.
was flashier.
I don't believe you, and I think you're wrong, and I also think you're stupid. And furthermore, you're dumb.
True.
Yeah,
Very true.
it's true. You know what? I wouldn't sacrifice a village for you, so there.
Bringing it back to that, I see.
It's a callback.
Oh,
They
I
brought it
can't.
back.
I can't believe this.
Uh, so yeah, the author's just trying to get to that as quick as possible. So we're gonna wrap up the Melascula fight as quick as you can. Uh, uh, tell us what happens. Not that I don't remember the specifics or anything.
Well, okay, so where we last left off Bond was basically just, sitting in a pile of acid, uh,
Hanging
looking
out.
very graphic, of course, just chilling. So Elizabeth's just like, "Yo, I'm a goddess. I got purifying powers.
It's
I'm gonna
all good,
purify
baby.
the poison."
Yeah, it's all
So
good.
she does, and they win the end. No,
You want
but
some? You want some M&Ms?
anyways,
Yeah.
so they all
Good Bond.
actually like start to team up
Yeah.
and actually fight Melascula together, which is
I
pretty freaking cool.
It is. Yeah. I do like all the teamwork that's going on in this arc.
I love the teamwork moments with the Seven Deadly Sins
Yeah.
when they like all work together.
And I'm like, it feels like this section of the arc was kind of made to do that because the sins have been. This is really the first time the sins were really together in the like the
Yeah,
current times of the arc, because Escanor wasn't introduced until like 100 or so chapters have passed. They were all around in the same general area for the Great Fight Festival,
but they didn't
but they
like
weren't.
really like
Yeah,
come together as
they
a group and be like, "Oh
they
shit, we're all here. Let's
yeah
do our
they weren't
stuff."
they weren't together. They
Yeah.
didn't like make note of the fact that all seven deadly sins were in one place. But this arc is where they actually finally do that, and this is their first fight as a full team of seven outside of the movies and like the vampire flashback one shot manga.
Well, it's not really a fight as a team of seven, more like they're all fighting at the
That
same time in the same place and fighting different people. But
that
yeah,
that's true. You know what I'm saying
but
though.
yes, yes.
It's a big action sequence where they're all playing an active role in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, all of the teamwork going on with
Well,
the five against Melascula is pretty cool.
yeah.
And what who was the one that turns her into from the giant Sneckus into the little one? Is that Merle?
Elizabeth.
Was that? Oh, that was Elizabeth.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically what happened is they were all fighting Melascula and um Elaine joins in. She summons like a giant fucking uh storm of multiple tornadoes to attack Melascula.
Are you sure
Um
that wasn't Merlin? I'm pretty sure
no,
Merlin did.
no, it was Elaine because
Oh,
and then in the
Elaine.
anime
Right,
Merlin
right.
also goes to do it as well, but Elizabeth stops her, and in the manga she doesn't get the chance to. But anyways, because they
Ah,
basically they were going to just kill Melascula, and doing so would kill Elaine because Elaine's soul is
right,
connected to her body via Melascula's powers.
right.
So what Elizabeth does is instead of killing Melascula, she just purifies Melascula and turns her back into a regular snake instead of a demon snake.
Yeah, and then Merlin puts her in the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
puts her next to Grey Road and her My Little Pony.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Now she now has two commandments at her uh in
Two
her
command,
chemistry set.
two commandments, three jars. Look to Applejack to see your fate.
Oh my. Well, it
Oh
was
no,
actually Rainbow Dash, but yes.
I don't care. Smiggly Pone, whatever's that one. My favorite.
Oh god.
My favorite of those fucking
Honestly,
horses.
just fucking look at Melascula. She would love that, wouldn't she?
Yeah. You think that's what happened to Orlandi? And that's why he's so that's why he looks that way.
I was gonna say like fucking Grey Road kind of yeah
Yeah.
yeah
That's if you want to change the subject.
yeah. So anyways,
Escanor versus Meliodas, isn't that
yeah, it
cool?
was pretty neat. They fought and yeah.
That Escanor got beat up. Wow, that's crazy. Sure, Meliodas sure is cool. I love him as the main character.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, they just kind of exchange blows for a while, and you're mostly supposed to get caught up in the spectacle of Escanor is losing. He's the sin of pride. He's the strongest one. What?
Oh my
But
god.
but like, there's not much in the way of choreography, not really.
It's
Uh
just keeps going back and forth, and
yeah. It's a pissing
yeah.
contest of who gets the best power.
Who
And
has more raw power here?
essentially, and in the end it turns out to be High Noon Escanor, because apparently when at the super very very highest point of noon for like 10 for like a minute or so, or maybe it was
I
like
think it
10
was 2
seconds,
minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, he is essentially invincible and super buff, like Phantom Blood Jonathan Joestar buff.
I think it was more buff than that, but yeah.
Have you seen that thick boy? Don't talk stupid to me.
I mean,
uh
I don't know. I can't imagine Jonathan surpassing that, but okay.
he's my little thick boy.
He's basically a giant silverback gorilla without
Damn,
hair
got a mustache.
and a tiny head.
Yep. Escanor does have a little tiny head here.
Compared to his body, at least.
Yeah.
He's like what's his like DC super villain. I don't know.
DC DC supervillain?
I don't, or maybe Marvel. I don't know. Big guy, little head.
Little Headman.
Yes, that guy.
Little Head.
You
I'm
know
making him up.
exactly who I'm talking about.
I'm
Uh,
lying to you.
anyways,
Uh, Escanor, yeah, he goes super invincible mode that he's always had. And he finally puts Meliodas down. Dang, and this is my note. Holy fucking shit! Power levels are hitting 6 figures. Please calm your tits.
I was
Because
actually surprised that it took this long.
uh,
Honestly.
uh yeah, the author could have done that a while ago. At least he held out this long before
Yeah.
making Meliodas hit 6 figures, when like the 500 power level increase that Gil Thunder and Hauser went through back in East Star was still a big thing, and now we've hit 6 figures.
Yeah. Um.
Gil Thunder has less than a fifth of what Meliodas has. Good for him. And yeah, so Escanor and Meliodas finishes off. And in the end, it was kind of hype, but it also felt a little pointless.
Yeah. I mean. Uh.
I feel like the
I don't
editor was
know.
just whispering in the manga's ear, like, "Hey, people want to know who would win in a fight, Escanor or Meliodas.
I mean, I
Make it
don't know.
happen."
I don't know if it was pointless. I don't know. Well, cause like, you you had to get rid of Escanor out of the way,
That's true.
and Meliodas had to do his Meliodas things. So, I
Yeah,
guess, but like, it's just it was anticlimactic to me, in my opinion.
I agree. It was a little yeah, it was, if you weren't caught up in the spectacle, then there wasn't much for it
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Essentially.
So yeah, the arc starts wrapping up. Uh, I do like how all of the Sins and the other characters around the Sins, like Elaine and Elizabeth and Halpern, all played a part in the arc's events at some point or another. No one felt especially wasted, except maybe Bon, but he was still like doing stuff, being active, and the fact that he wasn't able to
He
do much is made
tried.
up. Yeah, he tried, and the fact that he couldn't accomplish much is made into his inner plight that finally gets some form of resolution in the next arc, where
Yep.
only he can do what's needed to be done.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, this was a pretty solid, pretty solid arc, I think.
Uh,
What do you think?
no, but
You know what? Nah.
but I don't know. We'll see how it compares to other arcs once we like get
Yeah.
a chance to really like take a
Yeah, maybe
retrospective.
maybe the Holy War arc will just blow our tits completely off.
Ooh,
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, Escanor he's on his last legs essentially. He's pretty fucked up. And Meliodas is out for the count for now, but he's also he's reverted back to his full like demon ish self kind of.
Yeah. Well,
So
at this point, all we know. Well, at this point, like he basically just lost all memories of like being a sin.
no, he's still
Um,
got his memories. He's just lost
well,
his
we see
emotions.
that later. Yeah, but like at this point, we've seen nothing of like him,
No,
like his
he's
current self.
no, he's still got his memories later.
No, I'm saying he does have his memories later, but at this point, we've seen nothing to conclude that he
Oh,
has his
I
memories.
I see what you're
Like
saying.
because he's basically like just being like I'm Meliodas, the leader of the yeah, actually he was talking to Escanor as if he didn't know him. Cuz he's like
He should.
I'm
He, sh-
Meliodas, leader of the 10 commandments, and like
he,
he said something like you think a
he
human could
should.
stand up to me or something like that.
That doesn't imply he doesn't know him. He
I feel like there
says
was
he no, he's
other
because
lines that did.
when he's leaving later with Chandler, he says like, "I remember having some good times with you, Sins, but it's over now."
Yeah, no, he says that later. But that's after he awakens. After
Yeah, I'm saying he has his memories.
yeah, later on he does. Yeah,
He has them now.
that doesn't mean that
What?
just because he has them later doesn't mean he has them now. Like he could
Why would he forget? Only to remember them immediately after.
because it was like a metamorphosis kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. That's just the impression I got.
I did not get that at all. But for whatever reason, Meliodas is being counted out of the lineup for the foreseeable future, as he seems to have undergone his full regression back into his demon self. Elaine decides to like Merlin's gonna lock him up in a perfect cube, but Elizabeth's like, no, I want to stay in there with him, so she does so. Escanor's laid out pretty fully. He can't really move. Super
Yeah,
damaged.
apparently he can't do that thing very often.
Well, it's that he took a lot of damage from Meliodas's attacks.
Well, yes, but I think it's also stated that there was like one thing where he was like I can't do that all the time.
He does it every day.
No, like the full like the what is it called? The where he gets all fiery and stuff. Cuz normally unless it's needed, Merlin like controls his power so he doesn't get buff.
Uh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he used a lot of power, but it's mostly that like Hawk or not Hawk. I think it's Gother says like the captain's only at like 60% damage, but Escanor's at like 99% damage.
Yeah. Well,
Whatever
cuz
the
he took a
reason,
lot of damage leading up to that point.
yeah.
That's why.
But whatever the reason, Escanor is laid up. Meliodas is laid up. Elizabeth's hanging out with Meliodas. She's not going to be around. Elaine's upstairs dying, and Merlin's taking care of shit. So, and she's just like, okay, Gother, Deanne, King, you gotta we're pinning our hopes on you for now. You're the yeah. I gotta put my faith in you guys for the
The
time being.
boys.
Doesn't even mention Bond. I guess he's upstairs chilling with Elaine.
Yeah, he's depressed hanging out with Elaine.
That's true.
He spends
And
the
yeah,
entire like arc until later stuff happens, just chilling with Elaine.
that's fair. She is dying,
I
and
saw it more of as
and
him just being depressed.
that's true too. And it is leaving him out of this lineup does really sell that he's really fallen behind, and he's gonna have to do some shit if he wants to catch up. And do some shit he does, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And after this, we cut back to Camelot. Orlandi, the little flying vampire grub thing, is still flying around, and he found Arthur. Arthur's
Yeah,
back.
my favorite
Arthur,
character.
the Aardvark.
Damn,
Man,
I love you, Arthur.
this reveal, that he's back would have been so much better if we didn't have that quick appearance of his right after the time skip after the Great Fight Festival. Especially with Merlin spending so long the rest of this arc like fretting about him and searching fruitlessly for him. Uh, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
After the
Like,
Great Fight Festival, we had that scene of him like fighting a demon, and Nanashi's with him, and like it ends with him and the soldiers who he's with, and Nanashi running off, and he's like, "Man, if I want to keep going, I'm gonna have to get so much stronger." So like we know he's not in like super good stakes, but we don't have any reason to doubt he'll be okay. You know?
yeah, well, basically, like, it seems like the author's trying to have Marlin go through this whole ordeal where she's not sure if Arthur is okay or not. And you would think, like, that would, like, spread to the reader, right? Like we
Yeah.
would also be having these kinds of doubts, like, is Arthur actually
Yeah.
okay, or, like, what's
It,
the deal? But
exactly.
we know for a fact that he at least survived, like,
Until
at least till then.
post time skip.
Yeah,
Yeah. We have no reason to believe he wouldn't be okay
yeah. Aside
because
from Merlin just feeling weird about it.
last time we saw him, he was doing pretty well, and it's like I wouldn't call it a pointless scene, but like if cutting it would have helped this plot point and helped the feelings come across better, then it could have and
I
should have been
I
cut.
think it
I think.
was a cool scene because, like, it did show
Yeah,
that, like, people were resisting the demons. Like, it was just another example of that. But
yeah,
yeah, you're right. It definitely would have been more serving to his character to and just to the story as a whole,
and
honestly, just to not
if
have
we
that
had left
scene.
it, yeah, if we had left his fate after the Great Fight Festival up in the air until now,
Yeah.
then Merlin's searching would have we would have been on the same level of Merlin. Like, oh, is Arthur okay? I liked him. What's up with him? Instead, we're just like, oh
It,
yeah, I wonder where he's been. It's been a little bit.
it feels a lot less less like there's things at stake when, like, when the reader isn't in the same, like, doesn't have the same amount of information as, like, the characters that they're following.
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, we're back with Arthur, and we're gonna spend a little bit of time with him. We spend almost all of chapter 234 focused on Arthur, and it's a nice change of pace. He's in his element, and he's away from the spotlight stealing Meliodas. So we get to see him be, he's confident or competent, and he's pretty chill. And just seeing the love and the confidence that his people have in him, and knowing how well placed it is, it's really nice.
Yeah, we haven't really
You know?
gotten too many like, examples of that, like, up to this point, of, like, seeing Merlin, like, with the people that he
Arthur,
oversees. Oh, or
you
what
said
is
Merlin.
why did I say that? Arthur.
Whatever.
But yeah, like, seeing Arthur with the people that, he rules over, and, like, seeing, cause he's, like, meant to be this, like, really good king that, like, people have, like, a good
Yeah, people have a lot of respect for.
respect for him and everything, and he's just like very down to earth.
We saw that. We saw that a little bit back in Albion,
We
but
did.
the Sins very quickly showed up and stole all of the
Hmm.
focus from him, essentially. So seeing him kind of on his own, doing his own thing now, it's good and it's nice.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny how long it's taken for Excalibur to be brought into the mix, considering all of the
Arthur.
Arthurian legends going around, including Arthur, for the past like 150 chapters or so.
Yeah, Arthur's just there, and it's like, when we know you're gonna introduce Excalibur, just
Yeah,
when?
you've got yeah. This isn't like a oh that's
That
we're
makes
finally
sense. I can't
yeah
believe it.
yeah. It's more just like a oh finally
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, oh yeah. I also my next note is about the covers of chapters 235 and 239 that I found really sweet and cute. It's nice. They are just kind of like reader suggestions, so they're not like I guess not canon, quote unquote, but they're really cute. One is of Zeldris cuddling with that vampire
Oh yeah, yeah.
lady from the vampire
Oh,
covers,
I think that's
Elda.
what confused me earlier
Oh
when I
right,
wasn't sure if there was like a flashback the of like the
the
backstory
two of
between
them.
Zeldris and her.
Yeah, just a nice little
I
cover
had seen
page.
that cover page and was like, oh yeah,
But
that's just a side chapter, isn't it?
it's really cute, and there's like a little shading on his face, which may just be shadow, but it also kind of looks like he's blushing because his face is right up in her tits.
Yeah.
And then 239's cover is of like the context is that it's like a commemorative group photo after just having gotten out of the coffin of eternal darkness, and like all the 10 commandments are like they're flashing the peace sign, they're waving. Monspeet and Derriere are like cuddling with each other. It's very cute.
Oh yeah, that one.
Malaskila has her little darkness swirl that's always around her, formed into like a heart shape. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. They're friends.
It's so nice and
It's so
wonderful.
nice. Yeah. Uh, we get a so yeah we're moving on. I think this is after the Arthur stuff. We have like a little chapter with the Zeldris, and we kind of getting like sort of a recap of like what's up with the commandments. That was here, right?
Yes, yes it is.
Yeah. We see we're just kind of reminded of like what's up with all of them. Galen's still a statue. Uh, Grey Road and Malaskila, they're in the jars.
They were
Uh,
captured.
Droll and Gloxinia, they answer Zeldris' telepathic call, but they're just like, yeah, we're defecting, loser,
Get
and
fucked.
yeah, get fucked. And so we got a little scene of seeing them lose their demon crest mark and their black eyes, and like they lose the commandments they apparently had.
Which we totally
N- Never
saw.
saw. I wish
Totally.
I wish we. I can understand why we never saw the commandments themselves like take action, but I would have liked it if we actually knew what the commandments would have done, like maybe in a data book or something.
Maybe it did show up in a data book and we just haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
Like we don't
Honestly,
know either of we
I
don't
don't
know
know.
either of we don't know either of theirs. I don't think we know Monspeet and Derrieres.
Yeah.
We know Gallons, we know Grey Roads, Malaskilas, Esteroses, Zeldrises.
Yeah, that's it.
We know like half of the commandment. I kind of wish had a little bit more info.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh yeah, so Malaska and Grey Road, they're
Wait,
in the jars.
I love the little detail of like when when Gloxinia and Droll they lose their symbols, their commandments, and the symbols on their bodies.
Right.
Apparently, Droll's was on his ass the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's
He's
just
like,
like,
check it, check
check
it.
my butt, see if it's there.
I'm good. I'm good, buddy. Uh, let's go. Gallon's still a statue. Esterosa's in his big jelly tub. Zeldris is chilling.
Yeah.
Fraudrin is dead, but we have a little scene of we see Griamore made like a grave for Fraudrin, and that's really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
And we can really take in how like really all but Zeldris are down and out. And we also get a little scene of Monspeet and Derriere. Turns out they survived Meliodas' attack on them, and they're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, they're like, well, I mean, Meliodas it's kind of cool, I guess. Let's not do bad things for a while.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, I think if we try and fight Meliodas again, we're actually gonna die. Let's just chill.
Yeah, they're not
Derriere's like,
like
yeah, let's
joining
chill.
the good guys or anything, but they're just chilling,
They're just out there living their best life, hanging out with some human farm girl.
wearing
Hang-
clothes. Ew.
what? That's that's gay.
True.
There is like, ugh, clothes. That's dumb.
Well,
Uh,
clearly not, because
yeah.
she's wearing them.
Your Honor, these two, they're married. These two, please let them be okay. I want them to be okay by the end of this manga. Please,
Honestly,
please.
yes, but I know it's not gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's just come on, please.
Yes. Anyways, Zeldris, he's pretty pissed that Droll and Gloxinia was just like, yeah, fuck you. So, and that like nobody's there to help him. He's just by himself. He just gets uber pissed. He's just like, fuck, I guess I'll do it myself. So so all of a sudden, two new demons show up out of nowhere. Damn. Uh, well, it's been a while since we've seen new demons. Kind of convenient, I'd say.
Cusack and Chandler. Those are the new. That's Zeldris's backup. Yep, as you were saying, that's pretty convenient timing that they showed up.
Yeah, they just show up out of nowhere.
They're not real. You know, way back when the commandments showed up, I remember going on about like, oh, immediately I'm hooked. They all have such good designs that you can all they're dripping with personality. But I can't really say the same for these two. Like, they're not terribly interesting right off the bat. But yeah, as
I
entrances, what?
I feel like they're like over designed and like their like actual characters like behind the design is like not enough. Like it's kind of underwhelming.
See what you're saying. Like, it should be like, especially Chandler, a
Yeah.
bit more over the top, wacky. Not wacky, but like over the top in general to go with that like that level of design, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, at the same time, you know, as entrances go, it's not terrible. You know, they're
I
making
don't like
some.
dislike them.
Yeah, they're making some level of an entrance. They're showing off some personality, and like the teacher-student relationships they have with Zeldris and Meliodas, respectively, have potential. Plus, you know, Zeldris needs some more characters by his side to bounce off of for the time being, besides Demon Mooks and eventually Esterosa.
Yeah.
So for
basically.
that, they're I don't know. Serviceable sounds too like negative, but they're fine. They just need to like build some steam, I guess.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I'd be interested to see like what happens with them later on in the story, if anything.
Yeah,
Although, to
I
be
do it.
honest, I get the impression that they're like not going to do anything beyond where we've read, and they're just gonna get like one shot at some point.
I I think you're. I
Just just
feel
to
like you're
show
on the
up
money
like
there.
Escanor powering up or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten as much out of Chandler as we're gonna get, and I feel like Cusack is a similar thing where they're not gonna last too far into this holy war.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we're wrong. Maybe it'll go somewhere interesting. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Chandler, he's gonna go off and grab Meliodas, his old student that he's so attached to, his cute little Meliodas. He's gonna go off and grab him. He's like BRB, and we're back at the Boar's Hat. Meliodas is still laid up. Escanor is too. Merlin's working on shit, and suddenly the the daytime sky just turns into night like almost immediately. Like, I know the 2-page spread of seeing this has like it's showing the night sky overtaking like the perfectly sunny sky
It's
with a
really
very
cool.
yeah, it's like a very sharp divide, and I
Yeah.
really like it. It looks really
I
cool.
really love like the landscape shots of like seeing like Hawk Mama just like walking across the landscape and seeing like all
Me
the
too.
stuff.
This
I
feel
I love
this
love
it
that
feels like
vibe.
such a it feels like such a vibrant fairy tale place. I dig
Mm-hmm.
it. And this night sky turning from day, it looks really cool, and it really helps kind of build up Chandler more so than like, oh, Chandler is so powerful. Oh, I'm not worried about him going off on his own because he's got a power level of blah blah blah. Just seeing him transform the day to night by approaching does really well for like building him up.
Yeah. Also,
That is that's visual storytelling, baby.
um, I find it weird that Deanne is like sitting on top of the boar's hat when like early on, earlier on in the series, like uh pretty much every time we saw her like next to the Boris hat and like she was basically as tall as the Boris hat while on top of Hawk Mama like and like walking beside the Boris hat and now all of a sudden she's just sitting on top of it.
Yeah, it does look like she should be breaking it.
Yeah, it's kind of like she should be breaking it or like not they wouldn't be able to move or
Yeah,
she should be
whatever.
bigger.
Just a little. It's just a little thing.
Yeah.
Remember how small she was when she first showed up? It was
Yeah.
like Elizabeth went up to like her knee.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Uh, yeah.
Anyways, fucking
Chandler
Chandler
shows
just
up.
shows up.
Now,
He's just there.
he's hanging. He's
They-
going
They're
in.
just they're all just like, "Oh, wow, the sky is changing." And then like Merlin turns around and he's just standing there.
So
Just he's like, "Oh my God. It's
it's
Meliodas.
Meliodas.
Oh,
He's the protagonist. I know him.
I want to fuck him."
Oh, Meliodas.
But yeah, basically he's just like he's really I don't know. He's just a weird guy. He's
He's
just a
strange,
weird
but he
guy.
does. I do really like this fight.
Yeah.
All of the not all of the sins, but like the 4 or 5 sins that do fight him against Chandler. It's overall a very cool fight, I think.
Well, let's be honest. It was basically just King with some supporters.
That's true. King did the brunt of it, but
King,
like there was some Gother made a good show. Deanne was taken out pretty quickly, but like still made herself useful. She was able to, even in her shrunken state, she was able to block that one attack with her heavy metal. Gother was hanging in there even when he was essentially taken out of the fight. Bond makes a pretty cool save later on.
He makes a save. That's it.
Yeah. Chandler, it was pretty early in the fight that he shows this off. Apparently, Chandler taught Meliodas the full counter.
Yeah, I thought full counter was like his inherent ability.
That
Like
was
everybody
that was what I
has
was.
an inherent ability, and I thought that was his.
That's what I was. That's what my. Like, I was gonna say it raises questions for me because I had assumed that a person's magic was innate, but it's apparently like a learned thing.
Well, my understanding is that they have innate abilities, but they also have power. Like they can learn some powers, but like
Yes.
it's weird.
Yeah. Really. And he doesn't.
I don't know.
Does he? Yeah, I don't. I don't really know what to make of that. Also does something that to Merlin that takes her out of the fight. He cancel he like it's like he cancels a thing that's spell placed on her, and it's like a not an illusion spell but like a transformation kind of spell.
Yeah. So actually, this was basically a like precursor to him using full counter, where like Merlin. I thought Merlin's special ability was what was it called? The thing where
Infinity.
Infinity? Is that her
Yeah,
special ability? Oh, I thought it was
yeah.
the one where she cancels magic.
That's she's a wizard. So she has a lot of like
Yeah, but
spells
I
she
thought that was
learned.
specifically her
Uh,
special
abso-
ability.
Absolute cancel, perfect. He does an absolute cancel
Yeah,
on
that was
her.
it.
So
Well,
that's like
well, he does an absolute cancel on her, and he also does it on the perfect cube.
right. That was it. Those are those are spells that like if you're a
They're
person
just
that
high level spells.
does a deep dive into magic, you're like a wizard or something. You can do those kinds of stuff, and like I guess he has full counter as his innate ability, like Meliodas, like or maybe
Maybe.
it's a learned thing. Anyway, he does an absolute cancel on the transformationish spell that Merlin has on herself, and it turns out she's a lolly too.
Yeah,
Ah,
more lollies.
wow, how crazy.
Yeah.
Eh, okay,
Meanwhile, Escanor wants to fuck her. Uh,
that's yeah. I didn't even think about that until now, but yeah, this is
there's like a lot of pedophilia. Seven Deadly
yeah,
Sins.
yeah,
I mean, I don't.
yeah,
I think we've talked about this before, but like,
yeah.
man, there really is. I know like
Um,
a couple weeks ago, I made
yeah,
like a comment on Reddit about it, where like people were like trying to like deny that there was like pedophilia in Seven Deadly Sins, and I was like, what?
not not like literal, but like
No, but it's like it's
the
not cool.
yeah. There's
Not cool.
a lot of the main couples have one of them be looking very young. Eliadas,
Yeah.
King, Elaine, and now
Well, and
Merlin.
like also Meliodas like has like this ongoing romantic relationship with someone who's
Well,
constantly being reincarnated, and like
he's known
sometimes
a few
she's
of
like a
them.
child and he's
Yeah,
just like still pursuing her, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
when she's a child. And yeah, it's like, yeah, especially now with the added context of seeing that scene where there was an Elizabeth who died as a child and learned like got her memories back, but she was still a child. And yeah,
Hey, look, cool combo
yeah.
attack between King and Gother. Look,
Oh my god,
they're doing a combo
they did
attack.
it, they did the thing, they
Isn't that cool?
oh
Ignore what we were just talking about. Look at the cool combo attack, guys. I swear.
They're fighting.
They're doing the thing.
Also, fucking Chandler literally brings down like a fucking wait, was it Chandler that did it? That brought down a literal meteor strike?
Oh yeah, that was pretty sick.
That was insane. Okay.
That was
I know
pretty
like
sick.
I didn't really give a shit about like the Escanor Meliodas stuff, but like this was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, this fight is pretty hype,
Yeah.
honestly. And I think part of that is that like it's actually choreographed well. We got that meteor shit. We got King and Gotha's combo attack, which is not only looking cool, but like after all they've worked out recently between each other, it feels especially earned. They're doing this shit together.
And like it affects the fight later on as well when
Yeah, exactly.
Gother's stuff happens.
It's not just like he took that attack like it was nothing. Oh, it was pointless. It actually like accomplishes what it was meant to do, kind of, and that it directly affects the fight later. And makes a pretty great entrance to grab and save them from an attack, but that also makes me wonder where the hell he's been this whole time. You just hear the ruckus outside, and that's yeah.
He's just like, come on, get it together, Bond, get it together. You have to help your friends, even though you can't do anything.
He's like looking in the mirror, like, you are not worth this. You can't do it.
And then Elaine's just like, get your ass out there, and he does.
Bond, I think my brother's about to die. You can do it. You can do it.
You can win. You feel great.
You can do this, Bond. I do like that. He's just got it. He's so down in the dumps that he's just got to go psych himself up.
Yeah.
Looking at me? You looking at me? I like that.
Oh, wait. Oh, I just remembered what actually happened with Merlin and Chandler.
What was it?
Merlin tried to use absolute cancel on Chandler, and then Chandler used full counter, which is what happened.
That was it. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I forgot about that. Because I was thinking about it.
Yeah. It's around this time I think that he puts that thing on Gother, that like command seal, something or other.
Absolute order.
That was it. Yes. Called. And it essentially
cool.
means like and he tells Gother like don't get in my way, and he can't. He can't attack Chandler directly or like save anybody.
He's basically just gotta stand around and watch.
Essentially, and if he goes against the order, then he'll like essentially break. If he was a human, he would die immediately. But since he's a doll, he can survive-ish.
Kinda.
Where you go?
Yeah.
So that comes to a head later. Hawk even gets involved in this fight. He realizes that the crest on Chandler's hand is what's doing that to Gother, so he goes over to like lick it off, I guess. But like it's not really clear in the manga. I didn't realize that Hawk was trying to lick the mark off of Chandler's hand.
Really?
Yeah. I saw that he was licking his hand. I didn't realize that he was trying to get the mark off because I didn't think that was a thing one could do.
I'm pretty sure it's not a thing one can do. Hawk's just stupid.
Well, yeah, it failed, but like the fact that later on, after Chandler goes down, they see the mark, and it's like, huh? The mark didn't go away. That's when I realized, like, oh, was I supposed to think that the mark went away?
No, I think there was something, I can't remember what it was. I think there was something else that happened that made it seem like that would have happened.
Because they don't, after Hawk starts licking his hand, they don't show the mark on his hand again, and Gother attacks, which makes you think, like, oh, Hawk succeeded. And then they're like, oh, wait, look at his hand. The mark's still there. And then Gother's like, yeah, I attacked anyway. And then he starts breaking up because he went against the absolute order. And that's supposed to be like a twist, like, oh, I thought Gother was safe, but he actually sacrificed himself. But I didn't even get that there was supposed to be a twist. I just thought from the outset that he sacrificed himself in order to help the others win. And because I didn't realize that Hawk was attempting to do that, and since I didn't think that the mark could be licked off, I didn't realize the twist. It's just kind of unclear.
Yeah. Well, pretty sure this where it was revealed that the mark was still on his hand was like after they had taken him down for the first time. Yeah. Cuz I guess they figured that like since they took him down. No, it was because they thought he was dead so that the mark would disappear. That's what happened. But he wasn't dead, and that's
not. Okay, I guess maybe that was that. It's been a little bit. But he's not dead. Getting back up, he's like shifting into his like super duper form. Crazy.
Yeah, it was like it's weird because it was like a true form, but it wasn't Endura. It was just like him growing wings and transforming, which nobody else can really do.
Maybe it has. It says he's like of the highest level of demons, so maybe it's connected to that, but they don't really go into it. They don't say that it's a connection. That's kind of just me trying to rationalize it, you know?
Yeah.
And it looks like King starts trying to make the sacrifice play. He's like, I'll hold him off. You guys run away. Keep Meliodas and Elizabeth safe. And it looks like he's going to do it, but that's when Droll and Gloxenia, they show up to save the day. By save the day, I mean get themselves out of the story.
Yeah, just, sacrifice themselves and just, like, buy them, like, a couple seconds, which really didn't make that big of a difference because, like, Chandler immediately caught back up again.
Yeah. This was essentially... It's similar to what happened with Hellbroom last time. Like, he made a sacrifice that happened very quickly and didn't really matter in the long run.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought they were like actually gonna take down Chandler for real.
Yeah, me too.
Like you would think, but like, but then there's like, it's made clear that King is already caught up to Gloxinia, so it's like, well, fuck, this isn't anything. This
is just like, and we don't even really see the fight at all.
Yeah.
This is the author doing some housekeeping again. He's done with Droll and Gloxenia, and he wants to get him out of the way.
There was actually a little bit of it added in the anime, but it was like it wasn't much.
Yeah, this was the passing of the torch to.
Yeah, it was the passing of the torch, but like, it just went weird. It went differently from how you would expect it to.
They just kind of. They weren't involved in this fight. The last time we saw them, they were just kind of hanging out in the Fairy King's forest, having just lost their commandment marks, and now they just kind of showed up here in order to save the day from a threat that's kind of unrelated to them. And we don't even like see them go down. They just kind of like, the future is in your hands now. We'll fight to protect you. And
it's kind of disconnected from them.
It's over and done with in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Or in a matter of a few pages.
It doesn't like linger on it or anything. Like it's.
I do like the quick pondering Droll does on the giant race, positing that like maybe in the end us giants are kind of cowardly in that we only lash out and we don't know that running away or backing down is fine. And that idea of like maybe we're the cowards after all, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of wish he said that maybe like when during their training of King and Diane, where they sent their minds back in time, and the end it's like, like they think it's an unsolvable puzzle of like Diane could either do what Droll did and take Zeldris's offer or die, but either way, she's not waking up. And then she does wake up because she just went with the third option of bailing. I kind of wish Droll had this little realization fully back then. Like, he's obviously thinking back of that little test he had during this exchange, but I feel like I wish this exchange would have happened back then in a more resonant scene. Here it just feels kind of tacked on to this sudden passing of the torch that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Droll and Glocks are dead. Oh no, I guess that was definitely not obviously gonna happen.
Well, yeah.
So, and yeah, off goes the seven deadly sins are on the run from Chandler. And at least Droll and Glock spot them a little bit of time to make this stunning revelation. Apparently, Hawk is connected to Purgatory.
Yeah, strangely enough.
Yeah, and Merlin seems to like get what it's about, but she's not really telling anybody. So once again, info is being held from us just because the other characters aren't pressing the knowledgeable character with their questions, not pressing for answers.
We don't. This doesn't happen until later, until like after Meliodas wakes up.
Oh, does it not?
Yeah,
I guess
this happens way later where Merlin notices
whoopsie,
that.
my notes are a little out of order. My bad.
Yeah.
So what happens next? Meliodas wakes up.
Well, yeah, basically they're running away from Chandler, and yeah, Meliodas wakes up as Chandler finally catches up to them.
And he's evil.
He's evil Meliodas.
I
love how
my skin.
They're just like, this is the absolute worst time for you to wake up.
At time.
And
I love that it's so edgy that Meliodas has a trench coat made of darkness, a sleeveless trench coat made of darkness.
Yes, he also has monster
feet. The popped collar. Yeah, he's got monster feet.
His feet are just like completely like they're morphed into like this weird like elephant feet.
Got like little claws with opposable thumb claws that he can use to like step on people's head and grab the head.
Yeah, they're just okay.
Very cool, Meliodas. We definitely believe you when you say you listen to Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyways, so Meliodas does wake up, and
he just kind of leaves.
He's evil. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, 7 deadly sins are done.
I'm
gonna go do some stuff. Don't follow me.
It was like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me. You remember that line? I think that was from like Sonic Adventure 2. I think Shadow says that. That's what Meliodas has turned into. He's turned into Shadow the Hedgehog.
Pretty much, yeah. He's gotten all edgy and stuff.
So yeah, he's gonna go off to see Zeldris to see if they can break the curse on Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is just kind of coming with, keep an eye on things.
Well, she's not coming with to keep an eye on things. Meliodas fucking kidnaps her.
That's true.
Yeah, she's not doing this by her own volition.
She doesn't seem especially panicked or anything. It's not like, oh, I mean, save me, I don't want to go. She's just kind of like,
I guess, but
okay, I guess this is what we're
doing.
She
does kind of like, well, I guess she wants to like continue talking to Meliodas and like try to talk him out of this, and then later on when she realizes that that's not gonna happen, she decides to leave.
Yeah. So she doesn't seem especially. She's not putting up much of a struggle.
Yeah. Anyways, so as like they're leaving, I think Hawk tries to attack Meliodas, and then Meliodas just grabs him and is just like, "Yeah, stop,
Stop spying on me, Dad.
Dad." Yeah, and then that's what like puts that's what kind of like puts it in Merlin's mind that like maybe
Demon King Hawk.
Hawk is
Demon
connected
King
to
Hawk.
purgatory.
No, Hawk is the Demon King.
He is the
Demon
Demon
King
King.
Hawk. That's right.
I honestly, I would not be surprised if Hawk like literally was the Demon King.
I would love that. That feels
Yeah,
very in step with the series.
honestly, yeah, absolutely.
Demon King is Hawk Papa.
He's Meliodas' brother.
Meliodas has been traveling the country on the back of his sister-in-law this whole time.
Yeah, that's it.
This, uh, so yeah, as I was saying before, Merlin seems to know all about what's going on with Hawk, but the characters just aren't pressing her for any answers. So we're just kind of left with Hawk is connected to Purgatory. Okay. Can we get a little bit more information? No.
Oh, I just realized, did we get the backstory on Merlin earlier, or do we get this later?
I think I think this is around the
Well,
time of
cause
it.
I was reminded of it just now because basically what happens here is Merlin goes on to explain like purgatory and how her father like is related to it and
I think it's a
experienced in purgatory.
I think it's a little bit later that we get like
Hmm.
more of her backstory, but we're just getting a little bit now about like during like she's talking about like, oh yeah, my father once went to purgatory.
Yeah.
It's a little bit later where she talks about like her deals and stuff.
Okay. That's
But
fine. Because I wasn't sure if we passed it up because I know earlier when Chandler made her a little girl, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're that girl."
the child of blah blah blah. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I remember. It's when Zeldris shows up and
Right.
she confronts him
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, as we were saying, Hawk is connected to Purgatory, and characters are asking like, "What's that? What's Purgatory like?" And Merlin gives us a little build up for Purgatory. She's like, "Oh, the scholars of Blurlania, or whatever, figured out how to go there. My father went there. He was there for a minute. He came back like aged 50 years. He was insane. He was like sick. He was all skin and bones." And she like describes like, oh, purgatory time like stretches and shrinks and stuff. The weather is all wonky. A normal person is not going to survive there. And it's all really solid build up
Yeah.
for purgatory. It makes me excited to go there and see what it's all about. See who goes
Gee, I
there.
can't wait to see what
Yeah.
it's like inside of Purgatory. If only.
If only someone would go, oh hey Bon.
Yeah, Bond's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm immortal. I'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Let me
I'll,
go,
I'll
dude.
be good. I'll be good. Yeah, but yeah, Bond decides to go, and it makes sense both logically and thematically that he's the one to go. He's not only is he immortal, but he's spent the last like 20 or so chapters angsting about making it up to Meliodas, like being so insensitive to what he's been going through with Elizabeth, like saying like, "I'm gonna let Elaine down twice. Do you not have any idea what it's like to watch the woman you love die twice?" Like he's been angsting about that. Now he's the only one that could feasibly get Meliodas's emotions back. But like as we were kind of saying earlier, this feels like a retread of where we've already been. We've been going in a circle with Bond. It specifically it reminded me of Great Fight Festival. Bond mouthed off to stuff about Meliodas that Meliodas had worse luck with. He tried to make things right normally, but couldn't, and now he has to metaphorically abandon Elaine in order to save Meliodas. Just like he did
Again.
back then. Yeah, he showed up. He met up with Meliodas in the maze. He tried to apologize normally, and Meliodas accepts, but he doesn't think that's enough. And then he has to abandon Elaine again to go and save Meliodas by killing, quote unquote, killing Melascula. So him succeeding this time around would make it work better, since it's like he's correcting history by pulling it off this time around. More could be done to make this situation feel more unique. Now it just feels like ground that we've walked upon before, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't have anything to add, honestly. It just
Yeah,
like it could have
but
been
yeah,
if this hadn't
as
happened before, it would have been a lot cooler.
yeah, made the as you at the point you made before has been made. Bon has been kind of circular in his development so far.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see where it goes. If, if something actually comes of it that is more interesting.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. What happens next? Because my notes go into uh stuff with Margaret and company.
Yeah, that's what happens next.
Awesome, yeah. So yeah, that was the start of chapter 244 and into 245, and it was I found it to be a real treat, focusing on
It's been a
characters.
very long time.
We saw Margaret, Dreyfus, and Hendy setting off at the same time. The Sins were heading off to Conrad or Coland. Keep
Yeah.
making that mistake.
Conrad.
So yeah.
Fucking
So yeah,
Conrad.
don't make fun of me. You know who I am? I don't. So yeah, we're focusing on characters that haven't really done much in recent memory and tend to be overshadowed by the Sins when they are around. I'm still very glad Margaret is taking action. I'm glad that the past between her, Hendrickson, and Dreyfus is brought up. How like the two of them at different times were responsible for keeping her and Gil Thunder apart. And like they
Yeah.
bring it up, and Margaret's like, "Yeah, we're chill."
I don't really care. I just want to see Gil Thunder.
It's just Gil
Honestly.
Thunder. I mean, and and yeah, it's yeah. Thankfully, we're quickly resolving this Gil Thunder situation. They're able to. They don't find him right away, but they do find this big stone idol thing, and
Yeah, there's nothing bad's gonna happen.
yeah, a voice starts talking to Margaret as she ends up just making a deal with him. It's not just like, oh, she's become possessed by a thing. She's just a victim. No, she wanted this. She's taking action for herself. She's like, okay, if you can save Gil Thunder, then I'll, give you my body to take possession of.
Oh yeah.
She's being active. She's making a choice. I like this.
My body is
And
yours.
my body is ready. And yeah, this is ultimately used as a vehicle for bringing Ludociel, who we only saw in the Holy War flashback. He's returning to the story in present time, and I really like that.
Yeah.
It's a great way of doing so, because Margaret's not going to be
Useful.
fighting on the front lines, really. But having her
yeah, after all, she's a woman, right?
femoids.
But for real though, she actually gets she gets to be more story relevant than other than just like previously being the damsel in distress.
Yeah, and even though it comes about with her essentially like being taken out of the story, she's doing that of her own volition.
Mm-hmm.
She's choosing to be possessed.
Yeah.
And,
in a way, she does like kind of repeat like the past of being like the damsel in distress, where like I'm sure by the end of the story, there'll be like a thing where they have to save her and like get rid of
from the possession. Yeah,
Ludociel from possessing her. And so like
yeah,
in a way she's like going to be saved in that again. But
but
it's cool
she's
this
yeah,
time.
she's putting herself in this possession in order to save others, and
Yeah.
that's cool.
And she is still
I di-
physically around.
yeah, I dig it. Is what I'm saying. And yeah, we move on to rectifying the whole Gil Thunder uh, Vivian situation. We previously had like a little bonus chapter, like detailing what had happened, where they went, and now we're kind of catching up with that. Gil Thunder thinks he finds an exit, but then once he's outside, he realizes that they're on like a big temple above the clouds. So he really can't get away. But Ludociel, Hendrickson, and Dreyfus just kind of show up and subdue Vivian, and yeah,
Don't they like
stab her in the
kill
throat. Yes,
fucking Vivian basically? Well, she might not be
I,
dead, but
I've seen shonen characters take worse. But
yeah.
then again, femoid. Am I
In
right?
fact, just the other day, me and just yesterday actually, me and Ash were watching Blue Exorcist, and a guy literally got stabbed in the back of the throat, straight through his spinal cord, and he was okay, just speaking and stuff. And
It's chill.
yeah, he made a full recovery.
He needs a
Yeah.
throat. Uh,
Who needs who needs a body? In
yeah.
fact, seeing you get stabbed through
Yeah.
the spinal cord.
Who cares? Yeah. Um.
Anyways, so
uh,
we actually get this cool bit where we see um what's his fucking Hauser and also Jericho and Gila. They're getting
they're
fucked by
fighting.
they're actually there. They're getting fucked by demons.
They're getting fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're around, which
Yeah,
is
they get saved by this the
that little
tiny person.
it's the little bar dwarf
The
thing,
bard
and that
person.
like prying priest dude, those two tournament characters that from the Great Fight Festival, who I remember saying like, did these characters like what was the point of them existing?
Yeah.
This
Apparently
was the
this was
point.
it.
Yeah,
And
this was the point
also
of them existing. I
also yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was positive that these tournament characters were just gonna, like, honest to God, just be space fillers that just disappeared then and never showed up again.
Yeah,
But they were actually somewhat important, and like, holy shit.
I think they could have been more important and more could have been
Yeah,
like why were they
yeah,
around before they got possessed by goddesses? Because like
yeah,
how were they relevant in any way before
yeah.
then?
Why were they at the fight festival? What did they want?
Yeah, why did they get screen time?
Yeah,
Basically. But also this like little bard character, I was like I was pretty confident that it was like a fairy and
me
like
too.
that it was also a guy, but it's actually a girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It turns out it's just like a short girl who is a
Huh.
bard. Yeah.
Yeah, I was sure it was like a fairy boy, but huh.
Yeah. I looked it up on the wiki because I was so curious.
Strange. Yeah. You know what? I also wanted to mention that I like that each of the three archangels that come down. I appreciate that characters they possess kind of resemble how they looked in the past with their real bodies.
Oh yeah,
Ludocio,
basically.
Ludocio and Margaret both have like similar hair and similar like gorgeous looks. Sariel's, is that Sariel?
Uh yeah, yeah, Sariel is the little one.
Uh, he looks like the bard that he possessed, and three head guy Tariel kind of looks like the priest dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate that the designs kind of match up, and it makes me think like because Margaret's been around for a good while. It makes me appreciate more thought went into this series and where it was going than I had thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I think we're back with the demons after that.
Yeah, we're back with the demons. We see Meliodas arriving back at freaking
Sup,
wait, no, actually
fuckers?
before that, Estarossa wakes up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's awakened from his jelly nap.
Yes, he's awakened. He
He's been
actually
in the.
had a dream about Elizabeth and then woke up.
Oh yeah, he's been in the jar for too long.
Yeah. He like freaks the fuck out because he's like, "You bitch!" Basically. And then he wakes up.
The Chatosaurus Rex, that dude.
Also, apparently there's a floaty demon girl who's just
yeah.
there.
He has that Naruto tick of saying, you know.
Wait, does she actually?
In the translation I read, yeah, she that's like a verbal tick. She keeps saying, you know.
Awesome. I love it.
Dude, I just read that part in Naruto where he calls his mom a hottie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you know. Oh yeah, the brothers reunite, Meliodas, Eldris, and Estarossa.
Yeah, they're all there, and also Elizabeth's there and stuff.
She's hanging.
She's chilling. They're
Hanging
all
in
like,
there.
why is she here? And you're just like, go fuck yourself. She's here.
Yeah. She's here because go fuck yourself. I'm the older brother.
Basically.
Looking at my girl. Estarossa is, in fact, looking at his girl.
He wants her for
Wants to grabby grab.
unknown reasons.
Unknown reasons, correct. I know the reasons because I was spoiled.
I also do, but yeah.
Yeah. we know what we're on the same page,
That's
but
funny.
we won't spoil it
That's
for
actually
any
kind of funny.
listeners. Yeah, we're both playing coy about it. I know something you don't know. Oh, you know it too.
Oh shit! Don't tell the viewers.
so yeah, they have a little brotherly spat, you know, as brothers do. They use their powers of darkness on each other.
Yeah, Meliodas just kind
Kind
of
of wreck
kicks their
shop.
asses.
Yep. And it ends with Meliodas essentially taking charge and kind of forcing Zeldris and Estarossa to team up with him. Which could have taken a bit longer to convince them.
Well, like he like whispered in Zeldris's ears and said a thing, and Zeldris was like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Yeah, but
I mean, I kind of think I
if
know
you're
what
gonna
he's
keep it
talking
from the
about, but
audience, if you're gonna keep it from the audience for now, then at least have a bit more time dedicated to the back and forth. I think.
yeah. And then I forget what did he do to convince Estarossa again? Or it was just that Zeldris vouched for
I
him,
think
so he was like,
yeah,
okay.
I think just the fact that Zeldris was on board made Estarossa go like, oh, peer pressure. Sure, I'm on board.
Basically.
So yeah, so they put together a plan. Like, okay, Demon King kind of split his power in half, and then divided that half by 10, and each of those tenths is commandment, like the actual power, the commandment.
And also he lent Zeldris some of his half that he kept, so he actually has like, I don't know, like 40% of his power right now.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Zeldris has a few of the commandments themselves collected already. And Meliodas is just like, okay, brothers, go get the rest of them. Yeah.
So they split up. They were like, "Oh shit, let's go."
So the Eldris is going to go after Melasculus for now. Esterosa goes and gets Galland from Statue Galland. They already got Grey Roads and Drolls and Gluxinias.
Yeah. It's
So
interesting. At some point, Meliodas, he grabbed Grey Roads, but he didn't grab Melasculus, meaning it would have had to have been before he turned into Demon Meliodas.
yeah, I think he mentions that like it was like insurance or something.
Interesting.
Yeah,
uh,
I wish we had a better idea of when exactly that was.
yeah.
I'm guess, or yeah, it would have to been.
It would, because if it was after, he would have just taken Melasculus as well.
Hmm.
So that's
So
weird.
yeah, I wish we would have gotten like on our road to Coland or yeah, just after I told you about the cursed stuff.
I don't know. It just feels really weird and out of character for him to just, in that state, like take one of the commandments.
Yeah, but like, if I it seemed like between him waking up
I mean, obviously there was
after
like a difference between him before like his
yeah
resurrection, but
after his resurrection, he was a little off, and it seemed like between that and the events of the Coland arc, he was on this sort of downward slope of losing his emotions
yeah,
some
but he
more.
was like still clearly like
Yeah, he was still
not,
him.
he hadn't taken that leap yet.
Yeah,
So like it's weird that he would have taken steps that far in advance to further
yeah,
his later plans.
yeah. And
You would think like in like that state of mind he would have like
a little bit more,
rejected it
a little
and
bit more trust in his comrades, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
kind of strange to think about.
spe-
Wonder if it'll come up later.
speaking of him losing his emotions, after this is all put into motion, he goes upstairs. He's hanging out with Elizabeth. They're talking about how he's like losing his lost his emotions and stuff, and like it's intriguing to me that it's kind of implied that Aliadas losing his emotions also seemed to have made him lose his kind of his affection for Elizabeth. He says that like
Yeah,
he seems to say that all he's doing is keeping his promise, and like he's going off the idea that he should be feeling love for Elizabeth. Right now, he's not, and it's more about him keeping the promise he made long ago. I find that interesting.
yeah.
I
It's,
hope they kind
I
of.
don't know. It's weird.
I hope they. I don't think it'll come up again. I feel like we're not far from like getting the old Meliodas back after we pick up this next arc. But I found it an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's
And
I don't know. I just don't know.
uh,
Weird.
that, yeah, that's when Elizabeth leaves, right? Or is that later?
Yeah, that's exactly when Elizabeth leaves.
Okay, yeah, she busts out, and I think that's also when Chandler pulls off his cheeks, send makes little
Yeah,
golems out of them.
he turns his cheeks into flying things.
That's a thing he can do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about like the body horror and weird stuff going on with the body, weird body powers. This was weird and dumb.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I don't I
Like,
don't
okay.
know.
Uh yeah, so after that is when Merlin's still in her or back to her lolly form, I think. Or no,
No,
not yet.
she goes back to being Big Marlin,
Right?
Big Sis.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's I think that's does anything happen between then and when Zelda shows up?
No, he just basically, well, they're talking about something, I think. Oh no, no. Literally it's just like, oh yeah, someone's coming, and
Someone's
then
at the door.
Zeldris shows up.
I feel like the end of one of these chapters when Estarossa and Zeldris was flying off seemed to imply that Estarossa was going towards them. Like, I think somebody at the board's hat was like, somebody's coming. And then it cuts away to show Zeldris and Estarossa flying, and Estarossa is like, he's closer and he's like looking at the reader. And it's Zeldris that shows up. It's odd.
Uh, I don't know. I can't find it, but I always
Oh,
got the impression he was going to the Monspeet and Derriere. Oh wait, actually no. I think he finds
finds
Galland,
Gallon.
right? And then like crushes him up and stuff later.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, Zeldris shows up, and
Merlin goes to meet him and turns into little Merlin.
they go flying up into the sky, but she leaves it behind, this weird plant thing that she grows out of a strand of her hair, humorously upon Hawk's nose. And that's like,
As you
that
do.
keeps everybody, it's like a speaker, it keeps everybody informed. And Zeldris kind of just tells her her own backstory, kind of. Or maybe she tells him her I forget. It's all
Uh,
narration.
I think it's just narration
Uh,
because like I'm seeing like this one panel where it's like talking about how she's like the blessed daughter of the Demon King and Supreme Goddess, and like it's all in exclamation marks, and Zeldris would surely not be screaming this at the top of his lungs, so
well, they are flying through the air. And then you made a deal with the devil and also the goddess. And you're not answering. Can you hear me? Do I need to talk louder? So
oh wait,
yeah,
no, he is like
I
literally
thought so.
giving her
Yeah,
backstory.
yeah, he is one saying it. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, we're getting more backstory on Merlin, and I'm still digging the way that we're being drip fed this info and backstory on Merlin. As like not only is it info that like she's a secretive character. You expect her not to answer questions about herself
She's not
when
gonna reveal it on her own.
pressed. Yeah, she's not gonna talk about this shit. So it's like we've been being drip fed this information over time, but it makes sense that like the characters aren't pressing the questions because she's not going to answer them. So
The
now that we're
rule of the
actually,
seven deadly sins, you don't question backstories.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like now it's actually cool now that we're getting most of it revealed, rather than feeling like we should have gotten the answers earlier
Mm-hmm.
because we know we wouldn't have. So yeah, they go to parlay above the clouds. Marlon's trying to make some deals, make some of that magic happen.
Yeah, she's
And
basically she keeps trying to get different things out of him, and he's just like, that already
I don't,
happened, dude.
yeah, I don't have that. Sorry, another buyer already got it. You're gonna have to bid.
Give me Elizabeth. I don't
I'll
fucking have Elizabeth. What the fuck?
set up an eBay auction.
And then she's like, give me Arthur, and he's like, who the fuck is Arthur? Arthur who?
The Aardvark? I don't have the rights to that show.
And then she's just like, let all the people free. She's like, that I can do.
You got it. Give me your
I
hair
could do
tie.
that.
It's my only one.
Yep.
So all of the people that were under the commandment of Piety's spell, all of the holy knights and Leonis citizens, the spell wears off, and she also makes sure to have Zeldris and all of the demons not attack them. Still pretty chaotic in Camelot, though, because people are just like, weren't we in Leonis a second ago? Oh my god, a demon! And yeah, um,
Just
but
like so
yeah,
s- so Merlin well, so basically what happens is at this moment Ludociel like attacks Zeldris, but like does Merlin like know this is going to happen? Because like
I maybe.
it seems like she does, because like all of a sudden she's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna give you I'm not gonna give you Melascula. And she's like, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna do anything. I won't. And then all of a sudden fucking Ludociel attacks him, and
maybe she just kind of felt it coming and was like, "Oh, maybe I don't have to give it Melascula now."
coincidence.
It yeah, it is kind of coincidental, but Ludociel's attack was pretty sweet, and I do
It was
enjoy
sweet.
that it's pulling together these plot threads. It's
Yeah,
intersecting
all
them.
these things are happening at the same time, and yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
like the subplot of like Margaret getting possessed and stuff. Now it's actually intersecting with stuff, and I dig it. And speaking of that group, we're back. We're back with it. We're back with the Margaret party now with the addition of Gil Thunder and a dying Vivian. And I like that there's some like that there's some conflicting priorities among the Ludociel group about him taking over Margaret. Like Gil Thunder is obviously pissed about it. Dreyfus is kind of like he's not as pissed at Gil Thunder, but he's still like, don't can't you just like let her go? Can't you just let her see Gil Thunder for a little bit? But Hendy's digging it.
Yeah,
Hendrickson's like, oh, great Ludociel, yes, with
he's
his
like,
the
my
demons are
cult
finished.
leader. I can't
Yes,
believe it.
essentially, you were right. My cult was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Hendrickson, yeah, he's a druid. They're naturally very religious. They're all about the goddesses, so it makes sense that like he'd be all over this. And
Well, my impression is that like he's not doing this like consciously, like it's just like because it was like drilled into him from a child like that he should be like worshiping the goddesses or whatever. He just
right,
like he gets
he's like
caught up in the
indoctrinated.
moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's not
He's
really thinking straight.
yeah, he's yeah. This is his whole like way of life being proven right, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
so like these are the people he openly and fervently worships. So he's like, yeah, he's all over it. And Dreyfus just has
He's
to
like,
be like,
there's
how?
no way fucking goddesses could be bad. No
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
way.
Yeah, and he's just like, come on, think of the greater good. Dreyfus is just like, come on,
It's like,
come on,
fucking the
Gil Thunder.
princess. Wait,
This
this
is
is the
the fucking
princess.
princess. Come on, dude. And he's just like, come on, don't you get this is an archangel. Tread the game, Dreyfus.
Come on,
I
this is
like
literally God.
I just like I like the conflicting priorities amongst this little character group.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it is weird seeing Hendrickson act this like hyped.
Yeah.
That's
Normally he's like,
essentially
I must
what he
atone for my
is.
sins. And now
He's
he's just like, oh my God, it's literally God.
he's like starstruck. He's Ladociel's hype man from now on.
He's like Julius inspecting new magic
Oh yeah,
with like the starry eyes.
I like it. Um, so yeah, Zeldris takes the attack like a champ, but he's still like paused for a second, and Merlin takes that time to head back down to the Boar's Hat and teleport them to Camelot, so they can start, picking up the Holy Knights and civilians, getting them all in one place, and Merlin starts, teleporting them back to Leonis,
Yeah, as you do.
as one does. And I think that, oh yeah, Deanne like uses her giantness to make everybody stop. She's like, "I'll eat you," and they're like, "Ah, giant."
Yeah, and then all of a
That was
sudden
pretty.
Elizabeth is there.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
gets
she's
a
like,
haircut.
oh, I escaped. Oh yeah, she does get a haircut.
Her forehead gets cut and she heals it, but it also cuts her bangs. So now she looks more like past Elizabeth
Yeah,
with
she
the
looks.
straight bangs.
Yeah, and we see both her eyes all the time and stuff.
You know me. I like characters with hair covering one eye. I never liked it on Elizabeth. I just didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I totally, honestly, I kind of
Doesn't
agree.
it didn't fit her. It didn't fit her. She was kind of shy, but she was also very like friendly and extroverted, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, didn't.
Definitely.
It's there for story reasons, but it didn't like the design element that works more on gloomier characters, more cooler characters, I guess. Point is that I like her new look.
Yeah, she good.
By
Good
new
job.
look, I mean her own look, her old look. But
Oh shit.
so yeah, they just kind of now that they got Elizabeth back, just kind of leave. They head back to Leonis. Bye.
Yeah, they just like I don't know. It's just like a weird kind of lull in the
Yeah,
action.
they're they're
It's weird.
they're there for the hostages, and they accomplish their mission. But it's very quick. It's like over the course of maybe a chapter that they get in, get the hostages, get Elizabeth, get out. Like
Yeah, and then all of a
immediately,
sudden they have like
immediately
this
back
like
into things with the illness.
yeah, like they get into this like another one of these like grand ceremonies where they're like returning back to Leonis and like reporting to the
Right.
king, like
Right.
has happened a couple times, and
There's
it's
no
just
time to
like
catch your breath between.
yeah,
We just got out of Camelot. There's no like, okay, let's take a breath. We did it.
hmm
It's just like, okay, bam, we're at a ceremony.
and then fucking the archangels just show up, and uh,
You stink, my baby.
what is even going on?
Yeah, the pace is really picking up here, but it should be a little slower, I think. Yeah.
So much happens in this one chapter.
Mm. There is a lot going on.
So anyways, they're
Yeah. New stigmas reform. Stigmas reformed. Ludociel's running things.
yeah,
Uh,
they all team up
Elizabeth just
together.
kind of forced the team up, play nice. Hendrickson's being the hype man as usual. The Archangels all get drunk, hanging out. Things seem to be good. Whether they stay good is will remain to be seen. But yeah, things seem good with the Archangels for now. We'll have to see how well they go.
Yeah.
So yeah, because
Uh
as we saw in the
yeah.
flashback, the Archangels weren't like good people. They really they killed all those demon hostages. They kept their Ludelciel was being drawn with like evil face, all that stuff.
Uh
But
man,
it remains to be seen.
yeah. It's weird cuz like we've seen a lot of like like it's pretty evident at this point that like the goddesses are just like they're not all that's cracked up to be.
That it's
And it's
like
just a
you know,
matter of time until like something
history
happens.
history was written by the winners. The goddesses
Yeah.
won, so they're the big heroes. They get the religion.
Mhm. Yeah, all the humans basically worship them, and so like it's the next chapter is basically about just quelling the little bit of like resistance like in the form of the Pleiades with the azure sky,
Right.
which
Ludio Cialis, they essentially get bribed with like special magic.
pretty much because like they're like understandably they're kind of pissed because what's her name kind of killed
Uh, uh,
their leader.
yeah, yeah. I forget her
Big
name.
titty goddess lady. You know
Yeah, she
her.
took over. She took over Denzel. Tried to leave. Tried to barter for her life, and then Derry just kind of killed her. Denzel made a pointless sacrifice. Nero Basta.
Nerobasta.
That was it.
She is cool.
That was it. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
she basically like proved
killed
that
Denzel
she was just a
pointlessly.
she was just a coward. She didn't want to fight the
Essentially.
demons, and then ended up
Essentially,
dying
yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, so Lodiociel just kind of like bribes them by upping their magic, and it's like, chill. And Death Pierce is just like, wow, so much power. Yeah, we're chill.
Yeah, basically. They're just like, well, I guess if we're gonna be stronger now, that's well, good job.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Uh, what happens? What happens next? Because my next note is about like Elizabeth being treated as the leader, and I feel like that was a little after. There's still some stuff, right?
No, she's been treated this time,
Right.
this whole time she's been like treated as the leader because like immediately once they get back to Leonis and they go and meet with the king, she's kind of like she's kind of like standing in front of the seven deadly sins, and then when when the archangels show up, she's kind of speaking for them, and they're all like, yeah, we trust Elizabeth to like make the correct decision.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I think it's just something a little bit later that made me kind of realize, but like I do after all the development she's gone through, I after all like after how much she's grown, she really deserves being treated as the leader for the time being. I like
I'm gonna
that.
be honest. I feel like basically all of her character development, like up to when she got her memories back, is like was basically completely um negated by the fact that she now has all of these memories and experiences from hundreds of years, thousands of years, and
Ye-
like she's basically like she is the same Elizabeth, but she's not. So like even if she didn't go through any of her character development up to that point and then she got her memories back, she'd still be basically the same person she is right now. So
That's
like
yeah. Now that you're saying it, yeah,
it's
it's like
honestly like I feel like it's
it,
just completely negated.
I don't. I, I wouldn't say negated. I feel like all of that
N-
character development had to happen to get her to the point where she could start getting her memories back.
I
But
feel like that's kind of just like
I I
minor
I
details.
get what you're saying. Like
Broadly, like
even if she never changed like a little bit from episode 1, when she got back her memories, she would still be acting this way.
yes, like I don't like I don't know. Like she would be as mature as she is now, even without going through that development. And
Yeah.
like I don't think like changing around the details or anything like really has any effect on that because this is just like a thing that kind of happens like has to happen with like the story as it is, like with the story that the author wants to tell, and it just kind of
Right.
like
Has some unintended
in this
consequences.
one aspect it doesn't really work for me.
I get what you're saying. I can kind of look past it, but I do agree with you that it's like kind of messing with some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
some unintended consequences. Uh, so yeah, I think it's after this that we move on to Escanor, right?
Maybe what does Escanor do?
Is we finally get some backstory on his power.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it's um Ludociel like
Oh, yeah, that. Right. Okay. Yeah,
all over the
so
place.
yeah, so basically
The
all
not
of Stigma is like at in Leonis right now. So like
yeah.
because obviously the seven deadly sins have teamed up with archangels and also like all the human kingdoms are teamed up together to create
Holy
Stigma,
Knights.
the holy
Right,
knights
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. So we basically have a little bit of downtime for them to like interact allies before we like actually start to really get into the action of the Holy War, which is
Hmm.
going to be coming next arc.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're all just chilling in Leonis. Uh, so Escanor encounters
Lucio,
Ludociel, yeah, and Ludociel is like
I
he
know
like
the power.
he recognizes like Escanor's power.
Yes, and turns out the four archangels have these powers called graces, which are kind of like the commandments.
They're
Commandments,
basically
kind of.
just commandments.
Yeah,
They're like
and
a portion of the
yeah,
what is their god's name again? I don't remember.
supreme deity.
The supreme deity. It's a portion of the supreme deity's power, like how the commandments are a portion of the Demon King's power.
Yeah, except like they're not really like the esoteric kind of powers that the commandments have. These are more just like elemental stuff. Uh,
Yeah, it's more
like
just it's
yeah,
more just like a superpower rather than a curse.
right. And fourth archangel, who I remember Hendrickson had asked about the night before, and it got a bad reaction.
Yeah. Turns
Uh,
out,
ter-
by the way, turns out that guy was killed by Estarossa.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Mael, Mael, I think
Yeah.
is the name,
Yeah,
and
Mel.
his his power, Shine, somehow ended up with Escanor.
Yeah, Escanor got his power and somehow.
Yeah,
Although
and
now it's
like,
called Sunshine.
hmm, uh, I I'm glad that there's context. I'm glad that there's context that Escanor is still like a super gifted human to be given it and control it. Because I feel like his pride would become annoying if this power was given to him like on a fluke. Like, oh, if it had landed on Bond would be just like this powerful. Like
It has
if
I don't think it
if it
doesn't
had
really have anything to do with Escanor. He
well,
just happened to have gotten the power.
well that's what Ludociel is saying, but Escanor is like, I was born with this power, so like whatever happened, it ended up with me, and now I am able to control
Basically.
a grace. That's worth something. That's basically what I'm saying. Like Escanor is still hot shit, and
Yeah,
being
he's
able
strong.
to like have this grace and control it is still like as good as he says. I think. Like,
I don't
to
think that's like the point he was trying to make there.
isn't that
I
he's saying like
He's
whatever
not
this
saying
wherever
that
the
like because I'm able to control it. Like he doesn't really say anything like that. He just says I was born with the power, so therefore it's mine. That's basically all he's saying. And the power makes he's saying I was born with the power, so it's mine, and the power makes me the strongest, so I'm the strongest, and that's it.
yeah, that's what he says, but like what I'm
Obviously, you're
taking,
reading more into it, of course.
yeah, that's like I'm able to read more into it, and that is helping me accept like
Yeah.
okay, like it's helping me to accept his prideful nature.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think from here we move on to Arthur's stuff.
Yeah, that's yeah. Next is
But,
a little bit of Arthur stuff.
he's working on getting his sword. He and Caitha have infiltrated Camelot Castle, going after Excalibur.
Yeah, oh, we finally get to see the bit where Estarossa finds Galland
Oh yeah,
back where they left him. And apparently Galland's actually uh he's
conscious.
he's still alive. He's just made of stone.
Yep.
But Estro's just like fuck you and crushes him cuz honestly, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's Galland.
He's
Come
useless.
on. He's had his time in the sunshine.
I
Give him a
actually
little rest.
saw an interesting post on Reddit the other day where they were talking about how Fraudrin, he was like the only member of the Ten Commandments who wasn't an official member. He didn't actually have a commandment.
Yeah.
So basically the commandments, like, because they're a portion of the Demon King's power, they make people stronger. But Fraudrin, even without the commandment, was still like he was the weakest of all of them. But he was like not that much weaker than Galland, who had a commandment. So it feels kind of strange that he wasn't given one because he was weak. But meanwhile, like Galland would have been weaker than Fraudrin without a commandment.
Mm.
It's interesting to note.
Intrigue.
So, anyways, Arthur is trying to go get the sword. Well, actually, basically, yeah. So he's on his way to the castle to go get the sword.
Right. Sad in there.
Yeah, he's being trapped by what's her name? The little demon girl.
Oh yeah, she's the little girl is trapping him in like a maze of illusions.
Yeah.
Keith takes care of that.
Oh yeah, wonderful. This
He
literally this. Oh my god! When I saw that, like, that he literally ate her, I like lost my shit. I was like, holy shit, that cat just ate her off screen.
I did like that, yes.
Kath is just
and
like
Arthur's just completely oblivious. Like,
yeah.
oh, I somehow escaped the maze.
He's like, where were you? And he's like, I was hungry.
I was just grabbing lunch.
Yeah. Kath is like the weirdest character. Literally
Yep.
showed up out of absolutely nowhere, and it was just there and like doing weird shit. And it's just a talking ball with cat face.
Yep. Show Kath.
What the fuck is this thing? I need to know.
I would like to know too. Yeah, Arthur makes it into the castle. He's hopping along on his merry way, and he runs into I forget. The Cusack?
Cusack, yes. I remember it because sack.
He's a QT.
And he has a sack, presumably.
I would assume, yes. The demons have like 7 hearts. They have to have like 20 nutsacks.
Oh my god! Don't put it in my mind, Mike. I'm not gonna be able to forget. Stop thinking about it.
They've got 20 sacks, 30 backs, and a few cloacas.
I wonder what those are for.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. So while Arthur is like going in to get the sword, for some reason Merlin's just randomly talking about Arthur. Don't know why. Just coincidentally.
Narration.
He's he's doing cool Arthur things, and then Merlin's just like, yeah, I have no idea what's going on anywhere else in the world, but man, that Merlin guy, he's pretty neat. What is wrong with me?
They did it again.
Why do I keep doing this?
You just got epically owned by yourself.
Yeah, I did. Anyways, it's weird. In any case, Arthur like draws the sword, and all of a sudden he's super stunk.
It's Zeldris and is Esterosa there too? No, it's Meliodas.
Yeah, it's Meliodas. And also Chandler and Cusack.
Meliodas and Zeldris catch up, but oh yeah, Keith took a beating so that Arthur could keep going.
He sacrifices himself. Keith, you're the best.
The Keith around.
Anyway,
he draws the sword.
Yeah, he draws the
Draws
sword and then
Excalibur.
kills Cusack.
Totally. I love the lore behind Excalibur and how it works in this universe.
Oh my god, it is really cool.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, you get epically power if you have the sword. It's like the previous users of the sword have their skills embedded into it, and you get those like fighting skills that they have. And
Oh,
like Merlin's giving some examples of like the people that have wielded it.
yeah, like warrior kings and stuff who all have these, who apparently have like these different techniques, like being able to deflect any attack without seeing it, and like having other like more offensive attacks and stuff like that.
It's pretty cool in action.
Yeah, and like it's not like it's just, oh yeah, they're just like they use the
They get
sword and
super
their
strong.
soul got embedded in the sword. No, they literally fucking drove the sword through their chest, and the blood and their soul like fused with the sword, and that's what happened.
Yep,
That's metal as fuck.
it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Arthur will be the king of kings.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Um. Probably.
As we move into the last chapter of this arc, let's see how that we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Turns
Uh,
out he ain't shit.
yep. He just kind of gets stomped on after that. Good
Yeah.
job.
Turns out he's he ain't shit. Yeah.
Yep.
He like can't wield the sword properly because he's not his like his
He's a bit
body isn't
early.
strong enough.
He's a bit too early to have the sword with him, and unlike Ocarina of Time Link, he doesn't get like frozen in time until he's good enough.
Yeah. He's only able to
He's just
use. Yeah.
kind of shit out of luck.
He's only able to use 5% of the sword's power without breaking all the bones in his body.
I was gonna make a one for all joke, but I didn't want to because fuck My Hero Academia. That's right, I'm still on that.
Guess
You'll
what?
get yours one day.
I did it anyways.
You did it
There
anyway.
you go. I thought it's still pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, if
This
Arthur just like killed Meliodas right here, that would have been not a very climactic end. So
it's
I'm
true.
interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, well, it goes like back to the boar hat. Merlin has to just yank Arthur back.
Yeah, Merlin just shows up, turns everything to ice, and then Meliodas is like, "Give me the fucking thing," and then she's like, "No," and then leaves.
Yep, but Cusack, in revenge for his mustache getting fucked up, he's got another thing up his sleeve. The arc ends with him controlling Arthur's movements and forcing Arthur to stab himself through with Excalibur.
Yeah, and then Arthur dies, and that's the end of the series.
Arthur KYS in real life.
Nah, but for real, he stabs himself, and then that's the end of the chapter, and we'll be
Damn it.
continuing next time.
That's right.
Wow.
Next time we'll be covering uh, just one arc. The hold on.
It's the Holy War arc, right? The new Holy
That's
War.
right. That's right. New Holy
Which
War chapters.
is
It's chapters
chapters.
257 to 306. That's 50 chapters.
Yeah. I would imagine that's all the remaining episodes of season 3, and I'm not sure
Just
if
like
it goes into season 4 or not.
probably. I doubt they'd cover 50 chapters in like 10 episodes.
It'll be on the screen. There you go.
We'll
But
see you then.
yeah,
What were you saying?
no, that I actually forgot to mention something.
So,
I literally, this is the one comment I made when I started reading this, and I completely forgot to make it. It was like Fraudrin like actually sacrificed like the entirety of Danafor, and then like he got redeemed.
I I wouldn't
Like,
call Frowdren's death a redemption. I feel like
ah,
it's just showing that there's more to him that meets the eye.
I don't
It's
know. Grimoire was literally crying over his grave in this section.
Yeah, but like that's just Grimoire. That's just Grimoire and Dreyfus that are having these strange feelings about Frowdren because he was technically like connected with them and a part of their life. And like at the end he showed some sort of like connection to them back. No, but nobody else is crying over Frowdren. These two are like having these weird feelings about it.
I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
I dig it. I still love that whole section with Frowdren.
All right.
Alrighty.
I think that's my last statement will be that King is the Chad, the resident Chad of this section
I
because
think I
he
think Gother is the
he's a
true Chad.
Chad.
Gother is the
He's
Chadosaurus Rex.
the Chad. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, see you then.
Yeah,
See
see ya.
you next time.